So those are the virtuals, like we were saying. But each one is a different time stream.
Right.
And then I even went further. When I was talking to Jared, we came to this conclusion, like this would be the negative. This would be the negative, positive, golden age, dark age, switching the hands. Same thing over and over. It's literally in everything. Sonic the Hedgehog, it's in that. You have a gold devil that collects golden rings, which is our halo, which is our portal, which is our own individual crowns. And you have his rival Knuckles, who's the red devil, and they both collect golden coins. And who's their enemy? Artificial intelligence, Dr. Robot Nick, Saint Nick.
See, I've never seen that. I know that for sure. And I've seen it lately with a lot of shows as well, like that pretty much every single thing that's on TV has some kind of truth in it. And they're basically telling us, like, here we go, this is it, you know, and there's bits and pieces of it in like everything now. Um, and I seen what is this show? I literally had to get a pad and start writing things down. The show Evil. I don't know if you've ever seen the show Evil. There was so much disclosure in every single episode, like about the demonic realm, and I'm just like, I have to get a pad every time I watch this because I literally only watch TV now to see what disclosure it has in it. So anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I totally get it. I think it's like that for all of us. Yeah.
Oh.
Hey, Derek, welcome aboard, man. So, so yeah, it's you can't unsee this stuff now, and it's almost like when is this point coming? It's if you look at the Deagle report, it should be coming this year. So it's like because it seems like what their plan is, from my best guesstimation, is you're going to see the assassination of T. That's going to
Yeah.
that's going to start off that, and at that point he'll come back. So there's your resurrection,
Mm-hmm.
the Messiah.
Anti.
Yeah, yeah, and then you get into the fake invasion to bring
Yeah.
everybody together. So that's how I see it. I just don't know if we're going to be here for a lot of this stuff, or maybe we're supposed to be.
Looks like a perfect script for such a fake inverted world. I mean, it seems far out, but with how fake everything is, I don't know. It seems kind of crazy, but who knows, right?
Yeah, I even went down the rabbit hole of the timeline spirals. So you had the Fatal E spiral, and then you had the Christ spiral,
Mm-hmm.
which is your six, or I'm sorry, your nine and your six. Which, when you look at them from a top-down perspective, it's almost like it's
like a mirror.
There's your six, and then there's your. How am I going to do that? I think I'm doing it right. And so at these intersection points, those are the resets.
Right.
And so the changing of the hand, the turning of the table, the inky or in low, blah 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 blah. And that's at those intersecting points is our time to get out of here. Like, no more chaos for us. We've already went to this school, if you want to call it that. Maybe it's a school of chaos.
Yeah, I hate calling it that. I get like so triggered. I'm like, it's not a school. Like, and I have so many friends that are like, we're here to learn our lessons and it's our school. And I'm like, nope, not a school. You know, I did a video about it, so I'm just like, no, Earth is not a school. It is not. Sorry. So
yeah, totally agree. I have a friend named Carrie that talks about like the is or the real over here, and so at the end, okay, so if there is, I was telling Jared, if there's school here, even though it's inverted, or there's this one, or there's whatever, then that means it's based off of a copy, which means school's up here, in some capacity, and there, but also out here in some capacity, just not inverted and false.
Right.
So if this is the way Carrie and I were describing it, was if this is the is and it's just infinite in every direction, there are basically learning centers where like this is where you learn to love, compassion, like all the things. So maybe this is just chaos. So we learn not to stay away from it, or learn to stay away from it rather.
Yeah.
So I could see it that way.
We got lost. We got lost in it, I guess. Some people got lost when if it is like a school of chaos, they went in, because you have to have that mind erasure, and that's what made me know that this is not any kind of school like what people say in the new age. But the mind wipe just says it all. You can't learn with the mind wipe. I was always like, yeah,
makes no sense to me.
That's makes it, that's it.
Yeah, I think that's it's a hijack. Everything at every level is a hijack.
Well, I graduate kindergarten. I don't want to go back to kindergarten. I want to go to first grade, right? I don't want to get my mind wiped and go back to kindergarten.
Yeah. In some ways, if we make this like a little bit different and we do all these different schools in the is, I wonder if before you reach the I don't know, the God mode, we'll call it, or genie mode, like game genie, to be able to actually like create. So I think we're born out of like we call it the ineffable, like the indescribable. Born from that as a perceived, I'm not even gonna go that route. So let's just say we're each individual, which would be like our monad or our Atman. It's all the same thing, just different words. Yeah. And from there, we go to all these schools. So like Jared, Stephanie, myself, different ones. We came in and we were like, okay, we know right from wrong. We know compassion, empathy, love. These those things just didn't have to get really taught to us. It's just already there. So that makes me think we checked off, compassion over there. We checked off this and that, and then we hit this one. And it's like it's almost like a God school. Like before you can become better, you have to know what it's like if you forgot it all, or if you polarized, like through the duality. It's almost like it kind of starts to make sense to me that not that we're here for a reason, but that there is something that we can learn from it all. If that makes sense, guys.
Oh, for sure. And I do believe that you can also grow from pain, but I don't want to repeat the same crap over and over again in this place. Like when I hear people say, no, I want to come back here again, I just look at them like they have like snakes coming out of their head. Like, I'm like, what?
I think that's all to get us to buy into that. To get us to think that we have more to learn. I don't think we do. I think I think we came in and figured this shit out very fast.
Well, there's like some kind of Native American legend where people have gone into the chaos. There's like the story that's like passed down orally that they went into the chaos to just experience it here. And then they said that they were only going to do one round and be back, and then they were never seen again, basically. So they got the soul trap.
Yes, I know that legend or that saying. I know exactly. I think that's true.
Yeah, I do.
In that alien interview, it's interesting. I got to like 46 minutes in, and he was going on about that there are beings like the ones that he's trying to inform, because he's obviously of the system right now. Like he's quote unquote trapped. But there are beings that came out of he calls it the 7 dimensions, which I look at as like that's the copy that it's based off of, not the inversion. But that he knows of beings that have gotten out that choose to come back in to help others get out, which is the Lolita, the Anne-Marie, other people of that stature, I guess I'll say, or of that knowing. So I think that's awesome, because I get mad when somebody's like, I came in and I was awake and I knew everything. I'm like, what the hell? Why didn't I get that script?
Yeah. I mean, I think that all of us were probably a little different than
Yeah.
most people, but you know, I think that like a couple years ago, or let's say 2016, when I thought I was fully awake, but then I just realized that I was caught in some savior programming bullcrap new age stuff. And I feel like we can always learn more. And this is like pretty much what is the most important to me. And I don't feel like that's bullcrap. Like, maybe I thought back that I was really awake back in 2016 or 2017 or whatever, but I realized I was not at all. So, yeah.
Yeah. And so, I mean, I was always aware of like things just didn't feel right. Like, why are people treating each other this way? Why is this allowed? And then, at least my story, Stephanie, is I was at churches. I never went to the same church for like more than 3 or 4 or 5 visits. But as I was at one that felt like I liked it, and
Mhm.
I was trying to get into it, and I'm like, this still don't feel right. I'm sitting here dancing and singing, or not dancing, but standing and singing these songs, and it's like, and it's all modern stuff, but it's almost as if there was something that just didn't satisfy me. Like I still had my question on why is this allowed? Why is Jesus on the cross? Why is all the things?
Yep.
And I was making the connection with a friend about Jesus being nailed to the cross. Well, if you look at the Vitruvian Man, okay, that's us on a cross, and we have nails on our hands and our feet, which is where the character Jesus was nailed to the cross.
Hmm.
I'm like, this is a story about us. It's all these stories of like even the Marvel movies or Percy Jackson and the lightning thief. I recently watched Ready Player One, which was all about, and which would be a fun topic to dive into, which is the 3 keys and the 3 locks that I think we have on our system, which would be your red, green, and blue. Like we already have the
Yeah.
keys.
Hmm.
My blue key doesn't work in this fucking internet.
Welcome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
how are you doing, guys and gal?
Hi.
Oh my gosh, happy pre-4th of July for all you Americans. We
Yeah.
already had our fiasco.
Us Americans.
Yep.
Yeah.
Us Canadians, we already drank our beer and blew up our shit and had a great time.
Well, we're just waiting to see the fireworks. As a good friend, Lolita had said, I'm just eating my popcorn. Like I've kind of detached from too much of it, but I'm just ready for us to exit at this point.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm sorry I interrupted. Ready Player One, keys, green, red, blue.
Yeah, it's
Or
interesting that's your energy.
Is it green, red, and blue, or is it green? Yeah, RGB. Yeah, it's the two color. It's the two color keys because the other one's magenta, cyan, and yellow, right?
Okay, let me. I can further that. Let me figure out how to. So, I rewatched the movie and I looked online, and they are now like gold, silver, and green keys. But I remembered it being red, green, blue, and I always thought that was interesting. And then I can get into in a second, like the clues he was given for the first key and the second key and the third key that bounded him into his own creation. And when I rewatched it here recently, I'm gonna post a picture. It is definitely red, green, and blue. What they did is they make each key kind of like looks like a crystal, and so with the lighting, they messed with it. And this is the very end when he has all 3 keys. And so the red one would represent your root chakra, the true chakras, the root, the heart, and the throat. And that is also your energy, your vibration, and or energy, frequency, and vibration. Frequency of the heart, energy of the root, and our throat chakra, which is we speak into actuality. That's how we manifest, through speaking. Here. And so
Right. Okay,
first-
right.
the first key was, what happens if I can go backwards as fast as I can? Like back to the beginning. He made it sound really playful. Like back to the beginning. Okay, well, what that tells me is something that doesn't get talked about much, that Carrie does a brilliant job with, is Socratic questioning, which is what they implement in the courtrooms. They ask the questions almost backwards, so that way you incriminate yourself. And
Except
so
that's not allowed.
you can ask somebody, well, where were you on this day? What were you doing? What made you do that? Who did you talk
Right.
to?
Right, but you can't lead the witness in your prosecution. You can lead it in a cross examination, but you can't lead
Yes.
in a when you're doing your testimony.
You're correct.
Yeah.
And so Socratic questioning is pretty interesting. So basically going backwards. So basically tracking back the history of this place, which got me all the way to the book I posted on my channel, which was Can You Stand the Truth? The History of Man's Imprisonment, which is all about the celestial man being split into two, the Adam being split, then Eve being created from the rib of Adam, which is technically the false Eve, which is, I'm not going to go into on that. I'll digress. But the second key in Ready Player One was the fact that he went to a mansion, which happened to be the one in The Shining, to the ballroom, and his one love, he can't get back. Just like in Doctor Strange, he goes back in time over and over and over again to try and save the one he truly loved. We see this story in The Time Machine. And so that's basically an attachment that he's holding to something that is false. And so that's how I surmised the second key. And the third key was interesting. I'm trying to remember the clue, because I remember the guy that was the little character was playing the video game in the ice area, the mountains, and it's like water and ice and everything. And he says, this was the first game that was made to have an Easter egg. Well, then that got me in the whole idea of, well, the cosmic egg, the breaking loose from the womb in which we're in, because we're in a matrix tomb, blah 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 blah, and it all just kind of came together. So I would like feedback on it if y'all have any, as I try to pull up another picture here. And another idea of the splitting was hemispheres. It's splitting all the way through. That's why the peace sign is two not together. You don't want to be in pieces. You want to be in wholeness. It's like, right. I find this in every. Hopefully I didn't lose anybody with that.
I didn't hear you for like a second.
It just seems like we're cut off from something that we feel like we should have. Call it superpowers, call it higher self, call it the Atman. We're cut off. And I'm not a big Bible guy, but there is truth in it. That's the one thing that Anne-Marie says that I don't agree with, which is the idea that truth can't exist in a false reality. I agree, but I disagree, because the false reality has to be based in something that is true,
right?
To exist at all, where it can't exist. It's like two negatives isn't going to equal a positive or double negative. It doesn't make much sense to me. And so that's how I see it going. They split us in the races. They split us in our countries, our languages, our sex, our colors, all of it. And it's like, okay. And that book talks about a being, which is the celestial man. It's just another word for Atman, about a being that's whole. And that being can, basically the way I picture it, and Jared, jump in if you want, is a being that can change whenever it wants. It can be a girl, it can be a boy, it can be a child, it can be an old person, it can be a lizard, but it's benevolent in nature. It's not split to where it's either one or the other. It's truly like a benevolentness to it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I look at when I see people talk about the monad.
Isn't that the Adam Kadmon?
Yep. And then
I think the monad's a bit farther up the food chain. Isn't the monad supposed to be everything?
I think So I go back and forth on it, and I still need to do some more researching of it. But I did have a conversation with Lolita, and she did my chart and everything for me, Lolita Caroli, and
Yeah, she
Oh,
did
cool.
mine too.
she's like, you are a monad. This is why you're so heavily targeted. That's why, like, I went from 6 figures, nice big old house, 3 kids, wife, good job, nice car, whatever. I mean, to being homeless in a week and being put in a mental institute because I was asking questions about source players. Why is this happening? Why can the people at church not talk to me? Why are my friends not talking? It was a very Truman show. Like,
Wow.
it's crazy.
Well, that's what
Like,
happens, man.
yeah,
Yeah.
it is. It
You
is.
stick you stick your head up, and then the hammer finds the highest nail, man.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's
Much
whack-a-mole,
be
dude. Your
charged.
head, it's whack-a-mole. You know that game? Little guy comes out of the hole in like the pizza shop.
Mm-hmm.
So so the question I wanted to raise was, I draw this because everything has an on and off button, and like every video game console, computer, phone, and this is the symbol they use. It's not the best one, but it's like a line going through the circle.
Yep.
Which Stephanie, I looked at as the black hole and a spark coming through it, taking on a body, light body. That's a light body there, and then being placed into virtuals down here. And that is again a 3-body problem, which is the physical, the etheric, and the mental.
Astral.
Mental. Yeah.
Okay.
Astral and etheric, and then mental. Yeah, it's physical, etheric, mental is what it technically I think is, but because we're basically in the astral, I feel like.
Right. There's so many different things that I read in the Kabbalion about the division of the separation of all the types of energy and all the types of dimensions, and physical, astral, ethereal, and they even have gravity as a force, right? So weird.
Harry Potter, witchcraft, sorting houses, reads your energy, puts you in the right house. You look at the house colors; they just happen to be red, green, blue.
Yeah.
It's in everything, guys. Once you have that point of view or perception of it, so it makes me go back to my idea of a question: is that being here? How do we shut it off? Do we exit and remove the power source? Do we wait till something big happens and I'll go to the center of the earth at Mount Meru and then exit from the main Black Rock portal? Who knows? I don't. That's kind of where my theories kind of stop, because I don't think we have, and you guys might think I'm crazy for saying all that, but I think that it doesn't matter where we're at, that like I said, that portal is within us, and that's what they want to take. Think Indiana Jones, Temple of Doom. He guy takes out the heart and the sacrifices the body. He thinks he's got a way to the next level or to become a god. There's a biblical thing about don't cast your crown before anybody. Well, when I did my, so this is back when I was trying to learn everything as fast as I could. I felt like I was being guided to learn all this stuff. There was they told Terrence McKenna, do you want to meet God? Take 5 grams of mushroom, do the hero's journey. Well, when I did it, all I saw was I mean, it was like I was normal, and then within a second or two, it was like I went through some kind of warp tunnel, and I came to a place that was all black, and there was a golden ring that looked like plasma and electric combined. And I was like, holy shit. I didn't realize this until like a week and a half ago. But I was like, that shows me that I haven't given myself away to anybody else. That's why my logo is the golden ring. Because that's the portal out. That's what that showed me. The halo,
Yeah.
all that stuff. And then when I thought about that even further, we talk about the 3-body problem. When you look at an Android phone and you turn it sideways, it's the same thing. Think outside the box. The kingdom of heaven is within. And this is the Merkaba, the positive or negative, yin yang, male or female that Anne-Marie talks about. And then same thing with Anne-Marie, she talks about seeing a cube over people's heads, and she also sees the
Oh yeah.
she says she sees three things. She sees the atom, and she sees the Merkaba. Well, that would be all three of them right there. And that's on Android phones.
I can't see the diagram.
Oh, sorry. It's a crappy one. I'm using my finger rather than pencil, but so you got a
I'm trying to move it over, but it won't go.
Yeah,
Like-
it's like far off to the right. Maybe because I'm on my phone. Wait, let me see. If
I can only see like half of it.
Um,
Maybe you could take off the other
oh, okay.
image of the thing so it can move over.
Here, I'll just do this. I'll create a new
Or put
whiteboard.
it down at the bottom.
Give me a quick second, guys. Kat, it's good to hear from you again.
Thanks. Good to hear from you too. I was worried about you.
You're sweet.
If you're on a phone and you're looking at the whiteboard right now, if you see the little thing, the little strip bar at the bottom of the screen with like the squiggly
Yeah.
lines and the options, hit the
Mhm.
X to close that, and then you can move around the screen. Then you
Oh,
won't draw
okay.
on it. Yeah, it's like it sticks it
Cool.
that way. So I noticed it.
Jared, where do you click on?
On the bottom of the screen, you'll see a bar that goes across the phone from left to right, and it has like squiggle different options to choose from.
Yeah.
The X on the right to close that tab out. If you close that tab, you'll be able to move around
I
the
don't
screen.
see the X though.
Should be on
It's
the
like
right.
the far right.
Yeah, you might have a different screen too. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
it's not showing an X anywhere.
There's also a zoom here too.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, you can zoom in, make it bigger.
Fit to screen. Yeah, 29% for me.
Saying 66 on mine. Of course it's 60s.
All right, I've talked enough. I'm gonna let you guys.
Mine
Okay,
says
just
30,
one quick-
33%.
One quick point of clarification. So the cube is the square?
Yeah,
Wait a minute. Is the cube in the middle or is the atom in the middle? And is the Merkaba because I have for my Android, I have a chevron and then a square and then 3 lines. And is the 3 lines the Merkaba or the cube? Because 2 cubed is 8 or whatever. I don't know.
well, interestingly,
Okay.
so on my specific
I
Android,
understand. No, it works. The triangle's the Merkaba and the middle is the circle and the square is actually the 3 lines. Okay.
here's how it appears on my phone. I'm gonna show you another connection that I made. Okay, that's how it looks on the bottom of my phone.
Yeah.
Well, what do these buttons represent? Just like the red key, this is the back button. Just like the green key,
Right now,
this takes you home to your actual true love, which is yourself, your higher self that you're seeking. This is why the whole twin flame divine union thing has been hijacked. And then what does this one represent? The blue, and it represents the it's like all the window. It shows you everything that's open, so you
Yeah,
can
like
so you can shed, so you can shed what you don't want.
Wow.
You can close out the programs. You know, isn't that crazy?
Yep.
no, nothing's crazy anymore, man. Or everything.
everything is
Turn up the
crazy.
W.
If somebody would have told me that I thought that vampires and werewolves were actually real, like even 2 years ago, I would have cracked up laughing at them. Now I'm like, oh yeah, they are.
Yeah, they're just they're in a different vibration, and given our light spectrum eyesight stuff, the parasites, you know, the Lucifer stuff, there's a reason we can't see everything.
Yep. Well, I was listening to this video today, and the dude was talking about, you know, he comes from directly from these bloodline families on both sides, but like not a, you know, some of us are very watered down. Like Lolita talks about this too, but this guy was like, you know, he was all in with the programming, abused at 2 years old, the whole And forget like what I think happened to me, like, but it was, I'm not from these direct bloodline families, but I know I have some of it in me. But this guy, like, was talking about how they would literally like turn people into animals, like werewolves. And it's not that I haven't heard it before, but it was just completely different the way he broke it down and explained it, like with energy and rituals and um the process of it. I was just like, wow, wow. And what he thinks that some of these dog men and stuff are ancient, and then some of them are like people that were turned into these things. And
Hmm.
I mean, it's crazy.
Well,
And you pick
look at
what
our
you want to
brain.
do. Yeah.
We got fish brain, we got reptile brain, we got animal brain, we got man brain. We got so
Oh,
many brains in there, we don't know what to do with them.
oh, they tinkered so much, didn't they? With the meat suit.
They did, and it's based off of something. So that means like, there's that whole black pill thing, which I was listening to
Mhm.
again the alien interview, and they were talking about the Matrix. You can take the red pill and the blue pill. I'm like, well, what happens if Neo's like, let me take both of them, see what happens. I'll take both the pills. I won't be in duality anymore. Would be an
Yeah.
interesting thought. But there's no black pill, like I was going to say, is the whole nihilistic thing. I am nothing. Nothing matters. I don't want to exist. And don't get me wrong, I have often and sometimes will wake up and I know I've been interfered with through programming or whatever frequencies to make me feel that way because they want me to exit and not be ready or not do the good work, which I don't see. I don't see that we could have come in, um, and even if we're asked to help create something or contribute or fix or save or volunteer or whatever, if what I would believe that wholeness would look at that as, it wouldn't attack it from if this is where we're at. Let me zoom in, and there are the seven heavens, and there are the five layers of hell. Back to the copy over here, up here, and the inversion. I would say if we were over here as whole, we would say, okay, well, I'm going to go in at every, like I would talk to another whole being. I'd be like, hey, Jared, I'm gonna go to these places. You go to these places. Go down here and go do that. And let's basically crumble the whole thing right when it thinks it's achieved its what is it, the finality of it. It's like playing chess with a chess master, knowing the other one's a chess master, but not realizing there is a chess creator watching both of you. And right when one of you thinks you're going to win, which was back to the different timelines, the creator basically would flip the freaking table and be like, "Game's over, guys. Neither of you win. Did you learn your lesson?" That's how I see that.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Is this also the thing, Jared, where you were talking about if you were born down here, like the bottom half of the circle would be us on the earth plane, and then the other ones would be after the astral demarcation. Also in well, but it's also in terms of our energy too, whether we're in our heart or whether we're of the world, right? Is that? And then you were talking about we can swap our consciousnesses as opposed to actually consciously doing it. They do it for us. You just wake up in the other side. Or
Well, the experiences I had, the way I can answer, I think I understand what you're asking. The best way I
yeah,
could answer it is uh the tesseract he drew earlier. Each, I guess, like this room's like a on this model. We're in a
yeah.
virtual reality basically, and then there's like the astrals and whatever these other places are. They're still inside the tesseract,
Yeah.
but they're like other parallel versions of you, or whatever, however it works. And
All
if
right,
you
the
learn,
multiverse part.
yeah, if you learn to, you could potentially switch into them at will. I don't have that ability, but often or occasionally, once or twice every couple weeks, I'll go to sleep and I'll shift into a version of myself and I'm like, okay, I'm here. It's a different realm. And then temporarily I'll be there and some of the abilities will be there and it's less confined than this place. But the problem is I come back here, right? I see it as a problem because I don't want to be here. So I don't know what to tell you, but I don't know, man.
I'm
No, I
with you
know.
there.
Yeah, okay.
Go ahead.
No, I got it. Yep. My
Okay.
question is
Well-
answered. I know it was convoluted, but
I
See,
think
I might be a chicken, but I don't go into those realms anymore because what was happening is they were napping me and they were doing Lord knows what and then mind wiping me. And then when I would wake up, I would feel like crap. And it was soon as I got the sleep apnea mask, like because I have like severe genetic sleep apnea. So I wasn't sleeping before, so they were not able to get me. I was not actually even going into REM. And when I started wearing this sleep apnea mask and I started dreaming again, they started to get me in the astral. And so, like, I just kind of do a little ritual at night. So that doesn't happen anymore. And I think that it pretty much is working. And I'm not doing it out of fear. It's just that they already mess with me enough. So I'm just trying to, like, kind of, for right now, until I can figure out what my next move is, that's what I'm doing. So go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
no, I'm fascinated. Keep going.
I was gonna, yeah, Stephanie, keep going if you want. I'm just drawing a dream that I had like 3 nights ago that Jared and I went. We talked for like 2 hours about it. I was just gonna, I'm gonna drop some stuff on it and see what you guys interpret from this dream.
But
Go
I'll
ahead.
just mention, I've mentioned it before. My dreams have been manipulated. The best I can tell, it's
Yeah.
remote neuro monitoring, some technology, and they've been manipulated against my will in the worst, horrible, imaginable ways for like 5 or 6 years now. Just terrible dreams. And I'll fight for lucidity. I'll become lucid, and I'll have to really use pure willpower to gain control and like manifest things there and have control over it. And then I'll fight so hard, I'll wake myself up here, and I'm like, man, this sucks, and it never stops. It's just demonic. I don't know, man.
Yeah, my friend said had a horrible dream the other night, and she said she knew while she was in the dream 100% that somebody was controlling her dreams, and it was awful. It was like people were being put in vats of acid and like trying to climb up to the top. She said it was so gross and so terrible. And she said, I knew immediately that it wasn't my dream and it wasn't coming from me. And it's funny that she said that because it made me realize I was in a horrific um, relationship with a psychopath. Um, and it was a psychopathic narcissist. And he ended up like I got out of the relationship. I got out. I realized what was happening. I got out. My higher self spoke to me, blah, blah, blah. So that's the short version of the story. And he ended up marrying a good friend of mine who was married already for 35 years. And so if I am still not able to control dreaming of him. And then when I feel like I get that under control, because I don't want to dream of him. Okay. And
Right.
sometimes I'll dream of her as well. And it's almost like I know that this is not me. This is not coming from my subconscious, even though all the shit that went down, like on the 3D level, it never because again, and she also was got with him like at least 2 to 3 years after I was out. But it's just very strange the way everything went down, and now I can't stop from dreaming about them. But then I actually started adding to my little nightly ritual. Don't mess with me because I know what you're doing, and I don't want to dream about him, and I don't want to dream about her, and they're not my dreams, and I do not consent to have these dreams because and then like it kind of stopped So let's see what happens. But so far, it's been okay. So
It sounds like kind of like sorcery and black magic, because that stuff is real. I don't care what people say, like in New Age, oh, it's all good. There's no, if you think about it, you create it. It's like, no, man. Yeah, maybe to some degree, I can definitely manifest things more or less, but there
and
is
I
there
agree with
is dark sorcery in this
well,
place, and
I
they
know
attack you that way. That's one way.
yeah, and she was definitely doing spells and stuff. And the thing is, because she's a yoga practitioner, and I know like she dabbles here and there, because I've dabbled with her back when I didn't know about that stuff, thinking I'm doing the good work, so I'm not messing with anything, and all that stuff, nope. And let me tell you, I was having nightmares where the two of them were physically attacking me in the astral realm, and I would wake up like bruised and choked. And I was one dream where they literally buried me in snow, and it's just bizarre, right? But I think it's exactly what it is. I think it's black magic. You know, I just do. I really do. I believe in that stuff.
Yeah, one or both of them could be adept at natural astral projection and remote viewing kind of stuff. Because I can pretty easily remote view. How accurate is it is the question. But if somebody was a bad person and they could just, whatever, meditate or go to sleep and go into a lucid, like, other realm and then hack into someone's dream, and that person that the dream they hacked into is unconscious or just having a dream and they don't know that much about the parameters of consciousness in this place, that's
Yeah.
a bad setup for something bad happening, like what you're talking about. Yeah, it's
Yeah, and
crazy.
that's what Sabrina Wallace is talking about now, because now they're just doing that with electronic aid. Like they're,
Right.
the people themselves are being augmented into those states, or capable of being hacked, literally by machines, by they hold a little iPad, and what are you going to do? Well, I'm going to connect to you, and now we're going to go dreaming, or now you're going
That's
to go,
that's right. Gang
yeah,
stalking technology. I've heard
yep,
about her saying
exactly.
Well,
that. You're spot on.
Yeah,
I trained to remove etheric implants, with Tony Sayers, and I know that stuff is real. I've seen it. Like, yeah. So yeah, there's all kind of they mess with us in every possible way. And now this whole thing with these Neuralink brain, they want to turn us into robots. And I know Lolita talks a lot about that too. And yeah, I'm out of here. I know you guys are too.
Mhm. Can
check
I ask
the
for some feedback from you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I have not been dreaming. Only like once in a while I get a little glimpse of something, but in general I don't dream. And I'm wondering if, because I've been like using cannabis to help me sleep, and I'm wondering if that is the main reason why I'm not dreaming, because I've been considering stopping it, but I don't want to start having dreams like you guys are talking about. So I don't know if I'm, like in some kind of denial about using it, because I basically use it like medicine. I only use it to sleep, and I used to use it to help me with my appetite to eat and stuff, which I don't have to do anymore. And I use it to make me cough on purpose, because I'm always doing detoxing, and it helps to clear the phlegm and the toxins through the mucus to get it out of my system. So I don't know if I should continue
I
using
think
it or
I can
stop.
address that. I can address that
Yeah.
for you,
I have a lot to
Catherine.
say when you're done too. Go ahead.
And before you go, Brandon, how do I get the thing to come on that shows who's speaking? Because there's a couple of people here I'm not familiar with yet.
Okay, do you see the bar on the bottom that says mute start video participants?
No. I've
No.
had it on before, so I don't know what's happening. It took me
Oh,
almost a half an hour to get in here.
You
I
see a
think
Yeah.
little arrow at the bottom of your screen. You see a little arrow pointing up that's in like gray.
the ones that go forward and backwards to erase the whiteboard, or am I in the wrong?
It should be in the bottom center of your phone screen. It should have a little white arrow pointing upward, and it's in like a gray area in the middle.
I don't know which one.
Because that's what I push, and the bar pops up at the
I
bottom.
had
with the
it on
options.
before this whole time.
Phone?
I have not been able to get in. It's just like keeping me from, like doing it and like pissing
Yeah.
me off trying, like how
Technology
they
used to
do.
be so helpful.
Yeah. And I've had it on before. Wait, maybe that one's it. No. I see the X in the upper right, but it doesn't. Do I have to hit each one of them or something? No.
When I had the problem, like last week, when I had the problem you're having, and I didn't have the ability to get the tab bar up, I had to exit out and come back in, and then it worked for me just fine. I'm not saying
I
you will,
had
but
so
you
much
might have to.
problems getting in. I was even using the thing. I hate to use those.
Yeah, I had two
Other
sessions
things.
running at once, and I was watching the wrong one.
Yeah, and
Dude,
it kept saying that the meeting, he's in another meeting.
We
Yeah,
got
that's
hacked.
that's our
the other
fault.
day.
No, that's our
using
fault.
I was using the wrong code. I saw it because when I said I can't get in, you sent me the correct one, and that whole time I was using a different code to get in, and I couldn't.
Well, it might also have to do with your default phone settings for what it opens, because I have Zoom, and so it'll go to Zoom, but the other times it'll go through the browser. Then it'll ask you to sign in, and then and all of that, and so it created like 3 sessions for me.
Yeah, I just am so totally confused. It's like if I've been doing this since it started, the very first one, right, Brandon?
It's
And I've
it's
been able
prob
to
it's
get in,
yeah.
and now it's getting
Yeah.
harder and harder each time for me to get in. And
Oh
I don't
yeah.
know.
Unless
all.
we get with the program, the internet's going to start fighting us harder and harder and
Oh, I
harder.
know they're not going to want us talking to each other.
No.
For some reason, I'm coming up as iPhone, but my name is Stephanie Farlow, and that's
Okay, you're iPhone.
it'll
then.
say iPhone. So
Yeah, I can read the participants, but I can't see you like when each person talks, so I know who's talking. Like I know
that's
people-
because the whiteboard's on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do I turn that off?
I think I have control of that.
Okay, so if you take, I was trying to get rid of it and I couldn't, so that's what I was thinking was the problem, but I don't know how to get rid of it.
Yeah, it's just because I'm in here right now. If I get out of it, it'll go back to where it lets you see who's talking.
Okay.
Who's
Anyway, about the dreams, I've never dreamed. Like I've maybe remembered 1 or 2 in my lifetime.
Well,
But then I started smoking dope when I was 12. So I don't know about my childhood. I don't remember dreaming in my childhood at all. One time when I was on morphine because I had a sciatica, I had a dream as I was waking up because the drugs were wearing off that a dog was biting my leg, but that's about it.
well, I can remember back to when I was
but
2
then-
years old having dreams about tigers.
But then cannabis does affect your dreaming.
yeah, I know that. That's why I'm
More than
wondering.
that, though, it's your intention and your belief. So if you say, I don't want to be this, and you intend it, they won't come at you. So if you want to dream, yeah, you'll probably want to cut down on the weed.
But I don't know if I want to dream or not. I mean,
Well,
I don't want to be attacked in my dreams either.
Okay.
So
Can I
I
jump
do it
in?
more. I'm not. I don't think I'm as physically addicted to it as psychologically, because it's like a nightly ritual that I do that I've been doing for like a long time.
Let me jump in if you don't mind. Can I? Well, I got 2. I could tell you 2 dreams. I dream a lot. It's probably why I'm so tired all the time. But I wanted you guys to see the dream I had a couple days ago, and then speaking to what you just said, as far as not wanting to go in there, not to get attacked, and things of that nature. I had a dream in which I did what Anne Marie says to do, which is I can briefly summate that one, which is there was an entity. I was in an area. It's like the back of a beach house. There was how they had like the first floor and then the second floor and the balconies up there, and all these people were up there. And I'm just jumping to the good parts of the dream. Well, they're all asking me like what we need to know, what's going on. I'm like, I'm basically trying to wake them up. And they all got like notepads and everything. Well, from my left side, as I'm looking at the beach house, like all these little black, demonic looking things, like on bikes, and they were pretty fuzzy, like little black balls with red lights, and they're on like little miniature motorcycles, all about 1 to 2, 3 foot tall. There's probably 100 of them, and they're coming towards me on the beach, and they're attacking the people up there. They're trying to attack me. I'm just fighting them off left and right. I remember one got on my leg. I pulled it off and pushed it into the sand. I'm like, you have no permission to be here. I do not consent to this. And as soon as I said that, it like dissipated and ran away, like into the water or something. And so everybody started doing it. And then when they all left, they're like, what was that? I'm like, this is what I'm trying to tell you guys, that you're not in a good place, that you're being manipulated and lied to. And then all of a sudden, I heard like a big roar coming from my left, and there was this major.
Who?
Huh?
Who are you saying this to?
The people that were standing on the second floor, on the deck, while I was like on the beach, looking up at. And I heard a big roar on my left, and then all of a sudden, it's like this big black, smoky monster with red eyes coming at me. He's like at least 2 stories tall, and I do better when I draw, obviously, but there's a fence, and here's the deck. This is kind of like a 45-degree angle. I'm standing here, and all the people are up here, and there's a fence right here to the house, and there's a little area right here that you can get through. Anyway, this entity came and jumped over into this area, and when I ran right to here, I felt like at my feet was a little like black goat, like hitting my knees and my ankles, and I pick it up by its horns, and I'm gonna throw it at this stupid thing, and instead of it coming back, I hit against this wall, and I could literally feel like claws coming through and scratching my back, and I woke up and I was like, what? Like the scratch woke me up. Like I felt a scratch on my back. And then Carrie was like, yeah, you have a scratch on your back. It's like 3 or 4 inches long. It's red. I'm like, that's great.
I was just going to ask if you
Wow.
did have the scratch.
Yeah, I did. But that's what do you call it? That's a very validating dream, that telling them that they do not have my permission, they do not have my consent. Those things that I posted on the community and in the truth meter about the 8 ways or 8 rules to this place so far that we've uncovered, that they do not like us knowing. So I'm going to throw that out there. Anyway,
Which are the
I'll post them. So you can see them, Kat.
okay.
And so the dream I had 3 days ago, I want to hear what you guys think about this, because Jared and I talked about it for a little while. And I'll try and make it quick, because I feel like I talk either really fast or too much. So here's a house, and in the house was my wife, my kids, and my ex-mother-in-law, her mom. And I know this lady's like demonic. And she was just like watching us talk, and we're walking through rooms, and I'm like, why did you lie to my ex-wife? I'm like, why did you lie to me? She's like, I had to. I'm like, well, why did you lie? What else have you lied about? She's like, I lied about this, I lied about that. So I got out of the house, and I'm on the street. This is the house. That's a fence. It's up on a little hill in like a suburban area. And so there's a few people like all walking down this way on the street. So I go to join them. And so we come around the corner here. And I remember there's me and my 16-year-old son and like strangers. And all of a sudden I'm like, hey guys, look up. You guys see that? And they're like, what is that? I'm like, it looks like a top-down view of a city, like this. Think Doctor Strange, think Inception.
Yeah.
Circuit board.
Circuit board. So Stephanie, you'll really like this. I was like, that's why I drew that. Like we were here, and this thing was folding down. It was, and then it jumped from there as it like came to a sandwich, which is this diagram right here. Time and space folding in on itself, a reset. When it did that, I went to like a black space, and I could feel it. I could see that I was there, and it was like one of those curved TVs were in front of me.
Oh yeah.
And then it flipped, like it was getting ready to change over, which is the infinity, blah 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 blah, positive, negative, golden age, all that stuff. Well, as it was doing that, I literally like grabbed it and threw it to the ground. When I did that, I went straight to what we call the void, like a black space. In that
Right.
space, I could feel me like laying down and like looking around, looking for like other people like me, or I was trying to remember my quote unquote trading. So I said, I want to return to wholeness. I return to myself that is whole. And boom, I went through a warp tunnel, like what you'd see in like Sliders or any of those good shows. And then I woke up in a pod, like this one. There was like space in there. There was no wires. So I'm assuming it's always electromagnetism to the brain. But there were all these pods. This is like a corridor to a room or whatever. That's a terrible drawing. But anyway, there was a lot of people getting out of these pods. And we were all getting out at the same time, basically, like you see in a movie. And they were like really, really pretty humans. Like imagine, I was telling Jared, I was like, our noses go like this. Theirs went like kind of like that. Not so pointy, but like it was just like a nice looking nose, like a perfect. If you were to claymate it, it's a pretty nose. And I promise, guys, I'm not crazy. But and then it jumped to me sitting in front of a table. This would be me, and there was like a really nice, pretty woman here and here. She didn't have anything on her eyes, and this one had something over her eyes, and those are headphones. And they had tablets that they were working off of. And as I'm sitting there trying to talk to this one was like nose down. I'm not doing anything. This guy comes over, and he's standing up, and he's like, "Hey, do you want to try this?" And this is going to sound silly, but I heard mozzarella stick. And I looked over, and I'm like, "That's not a mozzarella stick." And it looked like a chicken finger mozzarella stick. I don't know. I'm like, "No, I'm good, man." And then after that, it went to another.
Is that a mozzarella stick? Or are you happy to see?
It went to another room where there was like all these tables, and it looked like a classroom. He had some person up front, but I'm here, and then I was talking to this other guy, and I like specifically remember his face, and he was like, they were like teenagers, and I was like, why did we just go through all of that, and how did that happen? And he like shook his head and looked down, and then I was awake. I tried for like an hour and a half to try and get back into that state by laying on the same side, eyes closed, same position. Yeah. And I couldn't get back into it. So here's my 2 cents on what all that means. Hopefully you guys can see my drawings. So we'll call this the monad that is separated in here, just like the light coming into the prism, Pink Floyd, all that good stuff. So if this is us.
Well, where are you drawing now?
Yeah,
I can't see the drawing.
Can you see like I don't know how to.
The last thing I see is me, Y, something.
Okay, yeah. Is that better?
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah. Now.
Now you just recentered. Yeah, you recentered for us. Thank you.
Okay.
Yep.
I couldn't find it.
Because I was following your story by dragging along the side there. And if you go too far, you actually get the participant screen again. It's kind of like the old. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay, well, I'll remember.
Yeah, so if you swipe to the left, kind of like, what's that stupid website, the dating website? You swipe left, you see everything.
Yeah. It's like Zoom without the Pro.
I gotcha. So my thought was, okay, like just like this is another variation to this. And so.
Well, that's Cthulhu, right? The octopus?
What is this? Oh.
Yeah, but it's basically the same thing as the prism, the splitting.
What's
it? Oh, okay.
The octopus looking thing. What is that supposed to be?
Okay, so what I think this represents the whole, like the wholeness that is you, the monad or the oversoul.
Is this something you saw in your dream, or are you explaining something else?
This is me trying to explain what that whole dream meant, and then I want to hear what you.
Okay.
And so, let's pretend the one I saw was either this one or this one, a different version of me that because I'm here and I'm holding space, I am trying to gather information, help people, do all the right stuff, right? And as I'm doing that, I feel like every time like this one awakens, then that means all of them awaken, and they're all doing their own research on their own timelines, all trying to go back to the same place.
Interesting.
I think I witnessed a different version or variant, just like the TV show Loki, where he meets another version of him that's a female. And I can break down the whole MCU thing too. I'm a big nerd, but I think that's what that whole dream was. Like I feel like
Wow.
I feel like that whole sequence was me helping another me get the heck on out of here.
Yeah, I
Got
love
cut off
that.
by the end of it.
And what were all the tentacles representative of?
Okay, so I think those are all. Each tentacle is a timeline.
Okay.
You know,
All right.
Kat, I don't know how much you know of Anne Marie. I'm gonna try and make another picture. So basically, this would be a tentacle going from end to end. You know,
I'm not familiar with her. I'm familiar with Lolita though,
beginning.
but I don't know.
So there are, if this is a timeline and a script, because a script has a beginning, middle, and end, there are different checkpoints. And their goal is to get us to exit before our checkpoint here. So like when my wife, I tell Jerry this all the time, I'm like, I'm pretty sure my ex-wife tried to do a ritual sacrifice. That could have been like right here. And then like the month later, I got in a car accident here. My best friend tried to kill me twice here.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
crazy stuff. And it's like they're trying to get me to exit. That's why they push the suicide program so hard, because if they know or seem to know that if they can get you to exit before this point, then you're just going to go right back. Like,
So I want to ask Jared how this relates to what you were doing to intentionally like leave. Would that be considered like suicide?
yeah,
Like them trying to get you to get out of here before your time.
Yeah, for years I've had, and again, I go back to the remote neuromonitoring or black magic. I don't know how exactly the mind control works. I know the technology exists, but
Because that made
they
me
continuously
worried when you
try to
started talking
self-delete.
like that.
Yeah, for years they've tried to get me to self-delete. It's through black magic, whatever,
Yeah.
mind control. But I was depressed like 5 days ago, and I'm like, you know what? I don't really, because I don't really want to manifest anything here. I'd rather just find my way out of here. So I laid down
I picked
and
up on that. So
tried to
it
intend
concerned
for
me.
my heart to stop beating, and then after like a couple hours of that, I did shift. I thought that this body did die, but what happened was I shifted instantly to a parallel version of myself, and I was like, wow, it worked. Like I'm free. And I hung out in that place for like 30 minutes, maybe walking around. It was like similar location, but a little bit different. The details were different, and there was some different things, but more vivid than this place. These
And
other
you're
places.
aware of the time too?
I didn't
Like
look at
how
a
much
yeah, I was aware how much time was going by. It was
were?
1 for 1, yeah. And then I was fine. I was looking around the place and I was like, what? Like I made it out. All right, so I'll just move on where I'm at now, whatever this is. And I had this thought after about 30 minutes of being in this place. I had the thought of, oh, what about the Archons? And as soon as I thought that, bam,
Snapped out of it.
manipulation started happening in my reality. And then I fought against it, trying to manifest things to have control for about 5 minutes, and I woke back up here, and I realized I don't know how I did that, but I don't even know what that was actually, to be honest. But it didn't.
Did you try to do it again?
I haven't tried yet. No.
No, I
haven't
mean,
tried.
would you though? Would you consider doing it again?
This man's a hero.
Or do
I
you
wanna
think
do-
it's
I got over my
something
fear
they
of death
want
when
you
I.
to do?
Oh yeah, probably, but at least I got over my fear of death though, because I was feeling like I was gonna die. I had pain in my chest, and
Yeah,
I was
well,
kind of
that's
afraid
good.
while I was doing it, but I just went
One
forward
of
with
the
it.
best things we could possibly do is overcome our fear of death, because that's how they control every fucking body.
Yeah. So
When it comes down to it, everybody, like people always say to me stuff like you shouldn't do that. like I'm supposed to be afraid to die. Because when I talk about something I did to show my daughter how fearless I was, I walked through 4 lanes of moving traffic in Squim, Washington. You know of Squim. And I was on, nothing happened to me, and people were all screaming at me, calling me all kind of cunts and stuff like that. And I just showed my daughter I was not afraid. And she probably didn't know what to do, because she's like a normie, she's pretty NPC. But I was just trying to make a point with her. And so whenever I tell anybody this story, they think because they're coming from a place of fear, they can't handle that kind of, assuredness or something, because they're living in fear-based reality.
Yeah, some fears are really hard to overcome, some not so
Yeah.
much, but it's good that you don't have that much fear. I think that's pretty good. It could
Yeah,
take
and a
years.
lot of people like are, always tell. That's why I hate that "stay safe" fucking spell. But
Yeah.
like last night though, I actually, like, I live alone in this vehicle, and I'm thinking like, shit, what's gonna happen with the zombies start really coming out? Because I do see some of them, but I'm in a fairly, like, I'm not in Bellingham, which is like, just they're like gone. They have the homeless encampment there, and there's murders and rapes, and aside from all the drugs and everything. But anyway, last night I don't always lock my door, but occasionally I do, and I didn't lock it last night, and somebody literally opened the door to my RV to get in. And it's only the second time it's ever happened to me since I've been living on the road. But, I'm up against that kind of thing. Like, is that going to keep happening or something?
Let me add something. When I looked up, can you guys hear me okay?
Yep.
When I looked up, I was trying to look at the etymology of suicide real quick. Intentional killing of oneself, obvious. An action that could cause the literal and figurative death of a person or organization, although death is not the aim of the action. And then I found it interesting in here. It says a Diablo trick where one of the sticks, meaning one individual, is released and allowed to rotate 360 degrees round the Diablo reincarnation, circle of death, until it is caught by the hand that released it, reclaiming power. Is what that.
What gives that
Wow,
definition?
where are you
What
getting
is
these
that
definitions?
definition?
This
What
is
is
of
that?
suicide. This is of suicide.
I never heard that. That's crazy. Can you say that
Yeah,
again?
where
Okay.
did you get it from? Can you tell where you're getting it from?
Yeah, this is Wiktionary.com.
Wiktionary.
Yeah, Wiktionary. That's it.
Okay. It's like the Wikipedia kind of thing.
A Diablo trick where one of the sticks, meaning one individual being, is released and allowed to rotate 360 degrees around the Diablo, being reincarnation, until it is caught by its hand that released it, meaning taking its own power back.
Sort of like
And I think there's one more in here. Okay, this one was interesting. A children's game of throwing a ball against the wall at the other players who are eliminated by being struck. Fragmentation.
Oh, they use that as the name of the game for kids. No programming there.
Nope. So that ties right in. And somebody asked the question. I saw when that point of exit would be, or before which point exactly. My summation there is that I felt like we're going to leave very soon. Like, when I say soon, I mean not in 10, 20, 30 years. I think it's close. We just have to prepare ourselves and be ready. And thus why I feel the reason to hurry up and figure myself out as far as what this place truly is and all its dynamics. And I call that the great taking, like they talk about in biblical stuff, or Exodus. It's the true beings exiting the false reality, but it's also the great taking, meaning we take our power back, thus taking the power away from them that powers their machine, and that's when it ends. To be
what
never existed.
what Christians refer to, as the rapture.
I think it will be in the blink of an eye.
And do you think it lines up with the Agenda 2130 thing? Because, that's only like 6 years away.
I don't think the times that they're telling us, meaning the years, meaning the numbers, are accurate.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, time is well, time
Yeah,
has
'cause
been the
it's all
problem
different.
from the beginning.
Yeah.
Well, I think it was Jared I was telling, I was like, there's a prophecy, I want to say it's in the Bible, that says the main thing happens in the year of 9, which would be 227. 2027, the year of 9.
Well, that's why I was thinking it had something to do with the 9, because it's 2130. That's a 9-year
Wouldn't
cycle.
it be actually 2025?
Well, okay, so I thought
But
that
then
too.
that's the other number I keep coming up with. Is it 2025? Like next year? It's like,
I think, and this is probably going to change because,
2025.
like I said,
Eagle
well,
says that the population will be decreased by like 85% supposedly, but they took it
So-
offline.
they okay, so the interesting number is 227, and I say this because I don't disagree with what you both just stated about 2025. I think that there's some validity there, and I do think it's not going to be that year as much as I want it to be. I think it's 2027, because what you get from that is 11, and you also get the 27, which is 9, which is 9/11. 11 to
Right.
them means death. 9 to us means spiraling out of this place.
No, I know all about 9s, 11s, and 7s. I am a 7-Eleven. I met my wife at 7-Eleven. I worked at 7-Eleven. I have 7. 7 is my first number and my last number. I'm a 6 in my middle number. I don't know. Like, I mean, yeah, numbers do mean a lot if you wanna make them. That's
So you guys all know who Lolita is, right?
yep, I
Yeah.
do.
So something that she stated that I caught on to that I've really wanted to do, I'm broke, but literally, figuratively, metaphorically.
Can I ask you how much she charged for her to do your reading?
It was like $100 maybe. It wasn't very much.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
that's
think 130.
Yeah, that's probably closer. Maybe
okay.
120 or something like that.
Yeah.
If
I
she wanted to, she could really
think
milk
Rebel
that.
Meat Puppet will do it for $30.
Oh, really?
Oh, can you do that?
Yeah.
Oh, I
He
like
was-
him, man. He's just
like
very.
but yeah, I know. Before he got really in a well,
Sour.
yeah. But at that point, when he was broken, it's probably still is. He was saying that I will do a full chart, because he's been doing that since like for 5 or 7 years now. So
So he wants the business. I would do it.
that's what I'm thinking. He should do it to help him sustain his current
Yeah.
status.
And then he could keep getting more experience and, like, to doing it.
So Lolita had mentioned that she could look at if you have children, she could look at your child's chart and see the parents
When they're
death
going to
date.
die. Yep.
And
I heard her
so
say, I remember her saying that.
So if, like, let's say a group of us all looked at that, would our dates be the same? Would it be different? I don't know. But I feel like that's why they try and get you to self-exit, because on that script that we're on, that timeline that they want us to be controlled by, there are checkpoints in which you can exit. Sometimes we miss them. Sometimes we don't know. We're not aware. When I had my one of my experiences on mushrooms, I think I've told DW this, and Kat knows it probably. I talked to some entity called the Lord.
Yeah.
And I felt like I didn't feel like I was ready, because I remember saying, no, I'm not ready to go. And we were like headed right towards a wall in his car, driving 70 miles an hour. I'm like, you got to turn left, dude. Like, what are you doing? He's like, aren't you ready? I thought you were ready. I'm like, I'm not ready.
you're not saying that.
And I said, I got a lot to learn here. And so I questioned why that was. And I don't think that was a checkpoint per se. Had I been more aware earlier, it could have been. But seeing that I wasn't, then they would go in and try and manipulate that to take me out, to put me back, because I wasn't as clear as I am now, so to speak. On the little diagram, the whiteboard that I showed you, where like they intercept the timeline to try and it's the same thing you see in the freaking Loki TV show with the whole controllers, which is the TVA, the time variance authority. Go figure. It all ties in.
The time is so weird,
It is here. They want to.
they target us. They target us when because they know who is going to be like, who's going to get to the highest level of like the truth and know what this place is. Because I'm starting to see even people who are still kind of in that new age la la land. You know, it was like I go to my yearly trip still with these people because they're my friends, but I was talking to someone that was sitting next to me, and I was shocked, was totally on board with this stuff. And I couldn't believe it because never did I think that I would find someone that would be on, you know, kind of like our level of the soul trap and the knowledge of it and all this stuff, where I was, which is more like, you know, the galactics are coming to save us, and you know, we're all
It's
going to
funny.
fly away in a spaceship. And
It's funny you say that, Stephanie, because like I just happened to see a video. There's this guy named Sam the Illusionist, which is, you know, son of Sam and then Illusion Mirror. It's he had a video today that I watched just to see kind of what he was trying to put out, because he channels information from Metatron, and
oh God,
yeah, a
That's
Metatron.
Enoch, man.
Yep.
yeah,
And he was
you know,
saying that the tagline was
Mercury too.
this is everybody's last incarnation, which to me meant the second death, meaning they're going to be reincarnated and uploaded to Meta, Borg, assimilated, singularity, all that.
okay, makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Andrew.
Oh no, no.
I saw that guy before. I think Tony Sayers did a call out video on him. I'm pretty sure.
Somebody
who?
did.
Yeah,
Sam the Illusionist.
Sam the
Oh,
Illusionist.
yeah, I don't know anything about that.
It's just it's one of those people I came across when I was in New Age for a month or whatever.
You don't think Tony Sayers is kind of new age? I do.
Oh
I do-
no, no.
Well, yeah, he's claiming to be reformed, but that's what he was all about. Like, I mean,
He
you know,
was,
who do
but not
you
anymore.
trust?
He
He
plateaued.
do any of the new
Did
age
he?
stuff.
I don't know because I stopped trusting him and I quit listening to him.
So I tried to get in touch with Tony to do a chakra removal about 3 weeks in a row. And every time something happened, and I would love to say that it was AI doing that, but I didn't have a problem doing it with somebody else, which is Sam.
I don't get doing
Sam,
that at all, really.
We can all
I
do it
did a
ourselves.
chakra removal. I did a chakra removal with him, and I noticed right away that my mind got really quiet, and then I feel like I was boosted into finding all this information. And he's definitely not new age, not at all. Like he's the antithesis of that.
I
But-
don't know. Well, maybe I'll listen to him again and see if it's different now or something. I don't know. It just I could see doing your own chakra removal, but somebody else doing for you just doesn't make sense to me. I'm in the healing arts.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's
do it myself if I
55
could.
years.
Listen,
never-
I get
it's
it's not for everyone, and I know
Yeah.
Lolita feels the same way, but it worked on me for whatever reason, and I didn't feel. I know some people were saying that they felt less, and that freaked them out.
But could that
Um,
be a placebo effect that you expect?
No, I just
or
think that
maybe
they control us through the chakras, which is an etheric implant, and for whatever reason, he was able to remove mine. I do believe that, and my mind got quieter because of it, and I just kind of went with it. And I had him. My son also had it done, but he really goes around and calls out all the new age people and does videos about them. I don't see him being new age, not at all. I'm in his group. I mean, you know, but that's just me personally. I know he's not for everyone.
and it seems like a lot of people in the comments, like his subs are kind of new age. Because I read
came
comments and all
new
the
age. I think they came from the new age. I think they were originally in the new age, and
like
then they
reformed, sort of. Okay.
and they're like reformed. Yeah, like a lot of the, because I'm
Well, that
in
makes
his,
sense then.
I'm in his private group too, and like all those people came from new age. And my friend Angie, she in fact, Sergeant Schultz just put a video up of her. She has that new Twin Flame book out, like Twin Flame Hell or something it's called. She she was in my group too. That's how I met her. And she was also a soul trap girl. And we kind of like, but she used to do the QHHT sessions, which she was the best I ever had as far as someone doing a QHHT session on me. But I have my own like opinions about that now. Like I'm not, because I do think that when you get into these certain modalities, like me, I was a Reiki master before all this. And
Yeah,
I
I do Reiki too, but I don't
do you
believe
use
in it the way they do it or
right.
whatever.
Now I don't either. I use my own energy now.
Yep, that's what I do. It's like
I
you don't
use my
need all
own
these different
energy.
levels. You just do
Yeah.
it with intent. It's all about intent.
So what do you think about the Reiki symbols then?
Oh, I don't really have much opinion on it. But I was just thinking about how, like, people would call me a healer because I've been in the healing arts for all this time, right? And I don't call myself the healer. I help people to heal themselves.
Oh,
Because
absolutely.
if they don't want it, if they don't believe it, if they don't think it's possible, there's nothing I could do to make them heal. It's all on them. But I'm there to help guide them into their own healing. So
Yeah.
that's the difference when I'm thinking about the chakra thing. Like, you could do it for yourself. You don't need to put your
Well,
faith,
yeah,
your
that's
energy outside of yourself and give it to somebody else to do it for you. Because I believe
well,
that your belief is what helped you. Like, it wouldn't help me because I don't believe in it, but it helped you
well,
because you do.
well, I was still at that time, I was still being trained under him. In other words, after he removed my chakras and I felt so much better, I wanted to know more and I joined his group and I trained under him to be able to do that to myself and to others, to remove etheric implants and portals and, all the things that they hit us with. But I will tell you this, his free videos that he has up also work very well on me. So again, everyone has their own, it might not work for somebody else. He might not resonate with other people, So I'm just saying for me personally, and that's okay, you know.
Yeah.
But as far as the Reiki symbols, I do believe that Reiki was heavily infiltrated, and I believe the Reiki symbols are sigils, and that's just me. So
Yeah. Oh, that's kind of probably true.
I'll tell you that I was
yeah,
I've always kind of enjoyed Tony because he quickly calls bullshit on a lot of stuff. He doesn't go into the Tesseract or anything like that.
yeah.
But he does do a really good job of calling out New Agers. And there's this, and this is going to be, this might be a touchy subject. I don't know. I don't care. There's two people they have seemingly come onto the scene lately, and I had one on one of our channels, and the comments and feedback that I had didn't seem the comments and stuff were authentic and the feedback was, but it's almost like the message wasn't. It didn't satisfy in any way. And I'm not going to say that name here, but the other name that came on was Sonia Testerman. I haven't had her on, but she's just popped out of nowhere,
Hmm. I don't know who that is.
You had the person on your channel say who it is?
Here, I'll type that name in the chat.
Do you have the actual video of the
Remember that everything has layers and lies and all that stuff. So, anyway,
okay, yeah, I didn't resonate with that guy at all.
The story was the same. I've experienced this for 35 years. I'm got some books. I'm just now making it public because the time is right. And you got to look into this. And the demeanor and the enthusiasm and the speak as if they have certainty just didn't vibe with me. Anyway, back to why I even mentioned this. Tony Sayers did a video with the Tree of Knowledge.
I said something though, because if you noticed, I didn't say a word during that whole.
No, I noticed.
I was there the whole fine, but I didn't say anything.
But Tony did an interview with Sonia Testerman from the Tree of Knowledge, who has the same story. I got books. I got a Patreon. I took 35 years to get this out. You ask these people about like being targeted individuals, or if they've been handled, or if they think about these things, like the harder stuff. They don't know anything about it.
They don't know. Yeah.
And like okay, so Sonia talks about like ascension, new Earth, that we're gonna take
No, I
seven, or I'm sorry, 11 cycles of 7 years to upgrade these avatars. And I looked at Carrie, I was like, did you notice any motherfucking upgrades to your body? She's like, not a damn one. I'm like,
You're right.
yeah, I think this is
So
bullshit.
Tony interviewing her, you said?
Yeah, and so she said, okay, so here's this is why I still respect Tony. She said something as a response to a question he asked, and she said, so where we started was in the void. All these true individual beings. I forget how she phrased that, but we were all in the void. The source put us in here. And then we were like, what do we want to create? And what her answer was, so we decided to create an ant queen. That was our very first creation. And then after that, we made the mantids and the reptilians and the Dracos. I'm like, what are you talking about?
What?
Like that, I was like, red flag.
Stuff. That's all Hive Mind. That's no, dude.
This is all way back at the Sanity Machine level time. Like, I mean, she was part of that.
Yep.
She was in his little camp of
boy.
Team Good, and now she's Team Evil or whatever. Like, I mean, you can
nuts.
tell that she's wants. I think she lost. She got lost everything and then had to beg. And so, if she wants to start up again, everyone's going to have to do something or get in with the right crowd to do it. Right?
What's her name?
This is the Sonia from the Tree of Knowledge. I just had to go look up the Tree of Knowledge site and saw her and see her picture. Yeah, I remember who she is.
But I know that girl that was one of Steven's, the Sanity Machine guy. His biggest cheerleader, Ann Pearson. She ain't no more. I don't know what happened there, but she.
No, I don't follow that anymore.
But
like,
I know
so
her in real life. She's a nutcase.
Wow.
I know her in real life, yeah. But Steven started coming after me, and then I noticed him lurking in Jared. So
and then if you pay any attention to him, he'll keep on doing it. So
yeah, you got to totally ignore him.
And the thing is, like, he's always commented on my videos. It's like as soon as I make a video, he comments. And believe me, I haven't made many, but
he starts off real nice, not
and I know,
but so does everybody. That's the way the world goes here. We go in circles, and then we peak, and then we start going bad.
Well, when when my son and I noticed that he was just going after everyone, and I told my son that he was commenting on my videos, he was like, "Uh-oh, Mom," and I'm like, I started cracking up because it's
he
like
also
he went right at me because I don't give a shit.
You should have seen what he did to Josh, Jared.
Yeah, well, look what he did to the he started out with going.
He makes fun of him being a ginger, and then just takes it from there, and he just keeps putting you down and just slandering.
Oh, it's terrible. It's like
it's awful to watch when you can't do anything about. That's why I started sending everybody that manifesto.
This isn't unique. This is typical. This is narcissistic behavior. This is textbook. This is a program.
Well, trust me, I know. It is textbook narcissism. Absolutely, 100%.
He's also into the SMBD shit.
Other channels on my.
Yeah, I'm done with it. So.
Focused on my own thing and just ignore that kind of stuff. And sometimes it works, sometimes not. But yeah. Yeah, it's just funny to me now. Like, we laugh at it, my son and I. When he went after Lolita, I was like, oh boy.
Oh yeah,
I knew this was coming.
Well, that was when he first turned. Yeah, that's when he first kind of turned on the small people and start. Well, I don't know. He was always going after medium-sized people, right?
Chris Sedaris. And who else did he go after? Oh, he did it to me too.
Likewise, me.
Can I ask
Yeah.
a question?
Yeah.
Yeah,
One
go.
comment response was enough for me to tell.
Yeah, well, he went after Anne Marie too.
Yeah.
I know that.
He's
But
Go ahead, Mia.
he's in Canada.
Yeah, I want to just ask two questions. So, number one, what is the ritual? Somebody mentioned a ritual that they do before they, be, I don't know,
oh,
protection
I
against
do.
dreams, because I have always had very, very lucid dreams. I mean, like very, some of them are terrible. And then my second question is, uh, who knows the timeline when we're supposed to leave? Like somebody said that we're not supposed to leave at a certain time, or we shouldn't force to leave. Like who knows that? Who knows when we're supposed to be leaving?
I don't know if anyone knows the time, but Anne-Marie Uber had a very good grasp of how we have points where we can leave, exit points that we may have planned in our little meetings at the schools or whatever that we don't remember, but we have exit points, and there's a big exit point for everybody. And I don't know when that is, but I don't. That's as much as I can guess on that.
How does that tie in with mass people leaving, like Exodus or something? Seems like I'm losing sound. Oh, what happened?
I'm clicking over. Sorry.
Oh, okay. I thought it was
think-
me.
So with everything that they put out there, there's multiple meanings. So there will be some individuals that leave towards New Earth. There's some that will stay here. There will be some that are left behind. But the various levels to it. I see that the Exodus that has been hijacked is actually us. Like the batteries leaving the system, creators, the true being, returning back to wholeness. Hey, Carrie.
Mia, so what I do is I basically, whatever words empower you, like to say, okay, I do not give my consent to interact with any interdimensional beings or any entities of any kind. And I'm way more fucking powerful than you. Like that's just one of the things that I say. But I say a bunch of things. So it's whatever makes you feel empowered, right? Because you can take your power back in the dream realm and in the astral realm. And so, you just, and believe me, it really does work. I mean, it's not foolproof, but anyway, so that's kind of what I do. And then when I say ritual, I mean, I just speak the words and,
Okay. Thank you. Okay,
Yep.
thank you.
Yeah, the will and the word is magic, intention and vibration. So you speak it and you mean it, and if you want,
That's it in
if that's
motion.
what you not want, don't attack me, don't attack me, don't attack me. I just said it 3 times. Someone's not going to attack me who was.
Yeah. Yep.
Do you guys know about this G5 program? Not 5G, but G5.
No, I don't know what that is.
I've heard of it. I haven't looked into it yet.
Okay,
There's so much.
The G5 is Global Government Gang Stalking Genocide Gestapo.
Oh, lovely. My favorite.
And it's designed to incapacitate, neutralize, eliminate, and or control criminalized dissenters like us.
Just sounds like gang stalking to me.
Yeah, whistleblowers, truth tellers, and other enemies of the state. TIs are used as disposable, non-consensual human experiencees in the testing and deployment of a host of electronic weapons that remotely torture, impair,
Oh, this is the stuff I was talking about, Sabrina. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
one of
think
the
it's
things I say is
from
in
hers, but it probably lines up with her
these
stuff.
these truth channels, if people don't mention gang stalking or they just flat out deny it, I don't really
Yeah,
accept the truth
yeah,
there.
because
And gang
I
stalking
think they're just distractions from this kind of stuff.
is real.
They're in on it.
If you're doing it through the beings or whatever you want to say, there is truth to it for sure.
Yep. Absolutely.
So how do they pull off like what Sabrina Williams talks about, the the wideband, the wide body network, removing our auras, like,
Well,
which is which is
think of
80%.
everything in terms of frequency vibration, right? It's done through electrical signals. We are electric. Once they find our signature, our frequency, then they can hack in. And we are being routed through our phone company's router. That's why they have all of these ports, just for our access out, but their access in. They have a whole bunch more ports in than we ever have out.
Yeah.
Each brain has a specific EEG.
Like, I mean, I used to set up routers and stuff, and I would ignore, for future use, until until I actually looked at a manual. Like, holy crap! And of course, they're all backward compatible. They're even forward compatible because they know what's going on, right? That it's all a program, and they have to wait for us to catch up to make it happen, right? The technology is here. It's always been here. We just make it real with our imagination.
Well, if our auras have 80% of our immune system in it and it's been removed, we're lucky we're alive with all these fucking toxins and poisons we're exposed to. The whole food system
They're
is
playing
wrong.
us.
No kidding.
So have fun.
It just shows how fucking powerful we are, that we're still alive and kicking.
It really is amazing.
Yep.
It really hit me up bad, man. I don't know. I can barely walk sometimes. This vertigo is so much. I'm so affected by. I think it's the lithium, because it's in the sky, it's in the water, it's every fucking where. So it's making my balance is so bad, and I don't have like any inner ear infection or anything like that.
Okay.
So I'm in good health, other than the shit they're doing to me.
Hey, Kat, I posted the picture that I sent in one of my other groups about consent, permission, choice, copyright, null and void, permanent deletion, karma, by my decree, and return what you've taken.
Oh, let me see that. Where is that? In the chat?
It's in the chat.
Oh, okay.
I have to leave. This was really great. I hope I can join another one, but I have to leave because I got to take care of my daughter.
Have a good night, Mia.
Yeah, be good.
Good night, Mia.
Have a good happy 4th tomorrow.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Stay happy. Fuck that stay safe shit. Okay, what is this saying here?
It says consent, permission.
Okay,
That's
the same.
number
Are
one.
they both the same? There's two of them.
Now I got a weird screen now. I'm trying to get the screen back that I had.
If there's a gray line on it, just drag it down.
Let's see.
Okay.
Damn it.
It's the same thing's listed twice. So.
It's like I had the right screen and now suddenly I don't.
So where did this come from? What is it, Brandon?
So those are like your decrees. Like, it's just another way.
Where are these? Where are you getting these from? Did you make it, or is it like from something you took?
Well, I help with some of it, but it's more of a community thing.
Okay.
So, like, I don't give consent, meaning you don't have my permission to be in my space. It's basically the way of taking back your power. I have a choice, and I choose not to be entangled with the vaccinations, dimensional beings, whatever. They have violated copyright law here, and they've taken advantage of us as creators to take our inventions, ideas, and energy to power their own system. I find that
Have you seen all the friggin' patents they have for these weapons against us?
There's
Yeah,
no
but they're
owner.
copyright frauds, so relax.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
So it's
The-
not.
Any
It's not
Well, no,
real.
it is, but in the eternal, it doesn't matter.
Oh.
exactly.
Well, it's just
Nobody
kind of
owns-
overwhelming when you look at, like, I went to look up just like one thing, and it's like this whole big long list of all the I was just looking up remote neuromonitoring, and it's just like, wow.
Yeah,
No,
no,
it's
it's too late
overwhelming.
for that. Everything's going to happen when we get our exit
I
point
wasn't
together.
like afraid. I was like just overwhelmed that there were so many. It's like, wow, this is really crazy.
they've stolen everything. So any contracts, any agreements are all null and void, regardless of dimension, timeline, etc. Permanent deletion.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
It too. Oh, I like that S.
What did you? Oh wait. What did you first say about the copyright?
Basically, they
I like the S.
But it's the way he got it so wrong.
okay. I muted Carrie. I guess she's got company.
Oh,
So let's go back to the list
I
real quick.
wonder what was going on.
Okay, so copyright. I've had multiple experiences where I've come up with some kind of idea or some way of doing something or creation of any sort, and then it's suddenly find that either be an app. Like there's an app that's out there that I was telling somebody about this idea that would be really good, and suddenly there's an app. Or 2 years later, there's a product.
Hey, you're manifesting, man.
So after you thought of it,
yeah, right.
well, you get credit for
That's how I look at it.
Well, it's they take our ideas. If you
Yes.
if you
Oh, yeah.
look at the patents,
But you
for,
could also even go more Gnostic about it because it's you and in your projection, right?
yes, exactly. So with remote neural monitoring, the patents we see on like Apple iPods or whatever they're called, they're taking information from us and then funding it with our own money and creating these things. So this gets me into the idea that I have for the Mandela effects.
So they're harvesting our creativity.
Correct.
Among
So-
other things.
Yeah, among others. But what he's talking about right now.
So the Mandela effects, let's pretend I'm the guy that created the monocle on the Monopoly Man. And then I exited the whole matrix. And when I did, I said, I want you to return to me what you've taken.
And you
So
get
then then they take the monocle off, and the self-correcting universe that they talk about fixes it and changes everything so nobody's none the wiser. That's what I see when I see Mandela effects.
So what is it when it's words that are changed? Though?
Same thing.
Same thing, and also layers of deceit. They want you to think that one word means one thing, and where we come from, words, phrases, ideas, they can mean a multitude of things.
Because what's coming to my mind right now is the Fruit Loops thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and also
Yeah, so there's one dude.
I just want to
one
say this
dude
before
made
I
it, and
forget.
the other dude took it away.
Yes, exactly. Okay. So it's the same
Well, I
story.
want to say what it's related to before I forget it. And now I don't know if I'm going to remember it. The food pyramid now has Fruit Loops in it
Uh-huh.
as a part of a healthy diet.
Well, yeah, they're
Grains
pushing
and
their agenda.
sugar and who knows what else is in there, some kind of glue to hold it together.
Exactly. It's the same idea of the story about you have on an island out on the outskirts of the city, there is truth, which is a person, and there is lie, which is a person. Lie challenges truth to a race to an island that they can swim to. And right when truth says, let's do it, the lie says 3, 2, 1. Truth jumps in to swim to the island. Lie says, ha, takes his clothes. So he puts on truth's clothes, goes back to the city and says, I am the truth. Then when truth gets back, there's nothing but lie's clothes. So he puts on lie's clothes, goes back to the city, and he's kicked out and ridiculed, mocked, all the things.
Wow.
Anyway.
Freaky Friday.
Wait, I missed the moral
Yep.
of the story or the
The moral of the story is they mask they mask lies in truth,
Oh, okay.
and then
Absolutely.
mix it.
Yep.
Number 5, permanent deletion. We know that there's holographic universe. We know that it's multidimensional. We know that in NDEs, Jesus appears in various ways, telling that he's in a hologram. Blah 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 blah. So when we say when we cross over or come to an experience, when we see an entity that is trying to dominate us, we delete it. We make holes in the system that way. Karma is their law. And it's been hijacked because they don't get karma here, but they will get karma when we enforce our own ability to revoke what they've done to us through actual karmic law. Like there's obviously no karma here. It's positive and negative, play in duality. That's obvious.
Just ask Boy George.
Exactly. By my decree, meaning this is something that Aunt Marie found, where she used the phrasing "by my decree," and they didn't like that. When she does her journey, they do not like her saying that. And then I added just the other day, because she did an 8th video or an 8th, I forget what she calls these, but she calls them like the 8 keys to the matrix or something like that. Return what you've taken, basically reclaiming your power, saying, hey, you took my monocle idea and didn't give me credit. I'm taking that with me, just like that's my child, that's my kid, that's my whatever.
That's my idea.
That's my name. That's my death sentence.
Yeah, like take back what has been taken from you, which is all that is about stepping into your power. Let me go unmute.
And we'll get called Indian givers.
Yeah. I don't care.
Did you guys ever hear Static in the Attic? You ever watch him at all?
Mm-hmm.
Static in the Attic. He did a video once, and he was reading from this Gnostic text, and it was something about like what Jesus, and when I say Jesus, I mean he kind of believes like that they stole a narrative from and put it on their Jesus, which is the Archangel Gabriel's son. I'm sure you all heard of that whole thing. And that there was like another figure, and he was, possibly crucified only 1,000 years ago when they, in the 13th century or something. So anyway, but he was reading this Gnostic text about what Jesus told his brother James to say when he would be approached by these 3 beings that were trying to capture him in the soul trap. And I wish I could find that video, but one of it was you have to answer the questions that they're going to ask you in this way, in this order. But I know one of the responses was something like, I come from the original one before, like, in other words, before all this crap happened. I know I'm not articulating this well at all.
No,
but
I can add to this. This is good.
Yeah, it really stuck with me. So go ahead, please, Brandon.
And I don't know if Carrie can hear me or if she's still busy. Because she's really good at this part too. So okay, 13 is not on any elevators or floors, whatever, in America. So that then ties into the true being that they copied and called Jesus, which is I think it's Yeshua, if I get it right. Carrie's
Is this the Black Nephilim?
See, this is where I would punt to Carrie, because she can tell you better than I can.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, no.
She's read all
Go
that.
ahead.
But that it makes sense, and it's as to the point that person died in the 13th century. Well, when you look at Asian culture, they don't have any 14th floors, and their savior that came in who was like us, that was a true being trying to get information out, died in the 14th age or whatever. It totally makes sense to me. But to your point, there was a true being that they copied all this from, and he tried to enlighten people. You know, it's the ones that resonate with us. The kingdom's not out there; it's within. It's the I don't report to this, and this. Lawyers are corrupt. Taxes are corrupt.
Right.
It's the stuff that makes the most sense in that context.
The
Does that
one
make
that Lolita said was born to human parents. But go ahead.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly.
Yes.
Born to human parents, because human parents are of this construct. They will not see further. They can't, because they aren't from outside of it, which is where we're from, which is why we don't stop questioning things. We lead with the heart, and we only all the things. In that place is what Carrie and I have come to, and we speak really well about in our channel anyway. It's the ineffable. It's indescribable. And we are the image of the ineffable made perceivable, which is what we truly are. And that is a very hard way of trying to conceptualize it, but it makes sense. There's a resonance there that I don't know how to, our words suck. So they truly do. But the best word I can come up with, and I did get this from Carrie, and this is why I'm in Oklahoma, because I know that there's truth there. And
Where are you, Stephanie?
Me? Oh, I'm in woke Philly.
Oh gosh.
There you go.
In Kensington, huh?
No, oh Lord, no. Oh God, no.
God,
no.
that place is so sad.
No. I'm in South Philly. I wouldn't be called dead in Kensington, but
I'm originally from South Philly.
Oh, wow.
Are you really?
Yeah. I
No
grew up
way.
Yes, but most of my life in South Jersey, the Blackwood, Cherry Hill area.
Oh, well, I lived in South Jersey in Washington Township for 18 years of my 57 years. I raised my two little ones there, sort of halfway anyway. And I moved back to South Philly, and I've been here since around 2011, where I followed Psychopathic Narcissist back to South Philly because he wanted me to move back here.
Hey, Andrea,
yeah.
are you loyalty makes us family?
No, I'm God Was Bored, and I'm in Phoenix,
Oh, okay.
by the way.
Okay.
I was wondering when she was going to show up.
So, where did you live, Andrea?
I was gonna ask you if you were coming.
I'm in Girard Estate right now, but I'm not originally from here. I'm from Passyunk Avenue.
Oh,
But anyway,
Passyunk Avenue. Yeah, that's where. Are you Italian by any chance?
I am Italian.
That's Italian neighbor. That's where my family's from. Is that right? That area? That was where the Mummers Parade starts on Broad
Yeah,
Street?
so I grew up on East Passyunk. Originally we were from the Italian Market, where Rocky runs down the street. Everybody knows that movie, right? So my family from way back had stores in the Italian Market. We lived in that area. That's where my mom was from. My dad was from Fifth and Porter. But then he was not Italian. My mom's all Sicilian, and they married, and we lived 8th and Federal. When my parents got divorced, I lived at 2nd and Fitzwater, then 8th and Federal, and then we moved to I moved around Passyunk when I was about 12 years old. And so I grew up there. And then after, when I was I think when I was about 30, I bought the house in Washington Township and moved to South Jersey. And now I'm in Girard Estate, which is, hey, that means you, it's a nice neighborhood. Yeah, but it's just like, guess Philly sucks. So anyway, I
grew up on the other side of Pennsylvania in Pittsburgh.
Oh, really? So yeah, you're the polar opposite, right? Complete other side of Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure it comes out when I speak, but yeah, I'm definitely hardcore South Philly. In fact, the street that I live up was the house that Rocky bought Adrian in Rocky 2, right across the street from me. Yeah, it's pretty funny. But yeah, it's not a good fun place. When I first moved back here, it was like really cool, and I got to see everyone and reconnect with everyone on Facebook, and I was, you know, going out, and it was nice, and I was in my 40s, and it was all good. And now it's like, oh, I don't even want to go out the door. So I'm definitely moving. Probably going to go to the Poconos, but which is just a few hours away. But I think I'm gonna eventually I want to move out west. But I have grandkids, and so you know how that goes. And anyway, so I'm sorry. I went on a South Philly rant.
That's okay.
So I can't believe it. I can't
Nobody
believe
has to
what a
work
small
tomorrow,
world.
do they?
No, I don't. And I work a lot.
And I think it's okay.
They're having a big parade or big to do tomorrow. The whole town is going to be like partying. They
Yeah,
got all kind of places set up, booths, fireworks, and just like everywhere. All the streets are blocked up. They have all those horses or whatever you call those triangular things that have signs that say no parking all over
Yeah,
the town. So they
everywhere.
must have a parade coming through or something.
Yeah, I have a small cleaning business, and I had to go onto the Parkway in Philadelphia, which is like a big where the art museum is, and it was already all the streets were already blocked off by like 11:30 this morning. It was insane.
Do you remember how big a deal it was in 1976 in Philly?
Oh yeah, I
What
do.
did you ever think of, like, why did they blow that so out of proportion? Like, I remember being a kid thinking, like, what is the big deal?
Yeah, because it was
The
the anniversary.
200 bicentennial thing.
Yeah, and remember the ground they painted all the 1776 logos on the ground everywhere. I'm wondering what symbolism it also has. Like now that I'm thinking back, it was
Yeah.
everywhere. It was everywhere.
Probably overlooked a lot of that shit.
Well, yeah, now like in hindsight, right? Yeah, it's madness. But yeah, I have to get out. I need to get out. And my son, my 21-year-old wants to go too, and my daughter's kind of just woke and rooted in here and goes to school here and is in Temple now, and she does not want to leave. And so that's kind of where I'm at. But I'm definitely out of here.
Yeah, I
So
got out when my kids were 15, 17, and 19. And
okay,
the
what do
way
you?
it happened was the 19-year-old, the 17-year-old was being homeschooled. The 19-year-old was out on his own going to college up on Long Island in New York. And the 15-year-old, my rent kept going up and I didn't have child support and I couldn't really afford to live in that area anymore. So I moved to Phoenix and my youngest just had to come along and my middle one wanted to go with me. And then the oldest, after we were here for about a year and had come to visit, realized that it was a much easier life to live in Phoenix than it was to live on Long Island and try to get through school. So they all came out one by one and they all love it. I thought they'd move back, but it's been 15 years and they are all married and they all like it here. But I got
I
out
lived
at that right time period where I was trying to get out when they were all out of school, but I missed it by a couple of years. But was my plan because it's hard to get out when you have kids.
It's very, very hard. Yeah, my daughter's, like I said, she's going into her second year at Temple now, and um, you know, it's hard. And then my oldest has babies, and it's very hard. And he has a teenager himself and two babies. And I don't want to leave my grandkids. I really wanted to move to South Dakota. That was like kind of my dream. But I've just been so just trying to let go of all attachments, and that I'm just like, what, I think I'll be good just a couple hours away. And
What's in
you know,
South Dakota?
I just always felt drawn there. And
No particular city or
yeah,
town.
definitely Rapid City, no
Oh.
doubt.
I don't know it that well, but I travel the country, so I'm always
Do you
checking
see
things.
what Brandon's writing there on the whiteboard?
Oh, I still have this list up on my thing.
Go on your
Oh.
bottom and click on the whiteboard.
Okay. There. Okay. No
Is it-
fear.
It should say the script in front of you, and he's typing now.
Oh. I see. Okay. Huh. How does he do that?
Can you see it? He said, I recently saw a
Yes.
vid that
That
said,
said, do not be afraid. 365 times in the Bible.
Sorry, that's me. I wrote that. I didn't know if I could do that, but I'm just kind of adding that on.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
Oh, so
Cool.
it's you doing it, not Brandon.
that's even better.
There you
I
go.
like
In the
that.
chat that
Total
I
collaboration.
experiment. But that's coming up. Now that he's writing that, I just saw that a few hours ago that said
365 is Abraxas. And Abraxas is the overarching principle that divides Yahweh and Lucifer at the top in a scale.
So tell me what you think of who those two beings are, Enlil and Enki.
Whoa. I better turn that off or else I'm going to start drawing too. There. I just said stay.
Oh,
I just crossed
boy.
out. I just crossed out safe by accident.
That's good though. We want to cancel that fear porn.
Yeah, I
Oh.
like stay. Nah, we're going, right?
I just
Yeah,
said,
we're going.
stay
I don't
smiling.
want to stay and I don't want to be safe.
I just tell people to stay smiling and starve the loosh bags.
Yeah. That's a little I'm gonna be honest, and this is me being totally raw and honest. It's pretty difficult. I still like I definitely let things roll off of me, but I'm also, that person that's like flipping the bird at people who drive like assholes, and I'm a tough cookie. I'm a little bit of a, I'm a little tough wild child girl, and this stuff does make
Philly
me
street chick.
angry. It makes me angry.
What's
And,
your confidence on that first item on the script there, Brandon?
My comments on the assassination.
Yeah.
I would say that it's going to be presented that he's gone.
What is that? I didn't even hear. What association?
Oh, T.
ends with a P.
Oh, that happened. When did that happen?
No, it's going to happen.
Oh, I thought
Especially
it happened. I said, did I miss it?
no, that seems to be the next event.
Yeah.
And
I don't know. You know Garrow from Jurassic Liars guy? How he kept saying he was gonna get hit up on June 11th, but he was saying it for like the last 5 years and it never happened.
But keep in mind I was on the ship of Biden's going to be put in prison, but keep in mind that there are clones and there's multiple people playing this character.
I know that there's no really such thing as him, but
yeah, these are all egregores that are playing the movie for us.
What are they gonna say?
Yeah.
What are they gonna blame it on?
Well, did you
blame it on? They're gonna blame on the rate.
On the what?
I don't know.
They're gonna threaten to put him in prison for what? Is what I'm asking.
Well, the one that they put in prison already was it wasn't him. Let me go to it. I'm going to an article real quick. I'll tell you. There's a website that I follow called martinbrilland.nl. I think he's over in like somewhere in the UK or EU, whatever. But
what's his last name? Martin who?
I'll write it down on here for you.
NL would be Holland, Netherlands.
Oh. I've been there 2 times. Martin Vigilant.
Yeah, Vrijsland or something like that. But he does really well with and I mean this gets us into a whole nother topic of the all the different domes. But this clearly isn't Biden. This clearly isn't Trump. These are
Yeah.
offshoots of them. The
You
real
think
ones
they're
are like,
clones?
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, no doubt.
I was gonna read once this pulls up. There's a guy's name that you guys might recognize. I just don't follow this stuff that much. Okay, there was an article posted on August of 23, November 23, October 23, and September 10th. I'm sure the numbers mean something there, but the New York Times editorial board urges Biden to quit race. Did Trump administer premature kill shot? The next one reads, Thursday night's presidential debate morally wounded President Biden's political career, and now the New York Times has been hammered with a significant nail in the coffin. And then it goes further to say Donald Trump's brutal kill shot in debate left Joe Biden a dead man, walking metaphorically and almost literally. And then it goes further, like somebody posted that, like on
Could
Twitter.
it get any darker?
I know, right?
I don't
somebody-
follow this shit.
I
I
don't
just
either.
follow it.
I just
I
think
do a weekly update for an hour on the entire world, so yeah, I don't really get close unless it's
yeah, I don't do politics. I just laugh at them because they're such a fucking comedy show.
Well, I have to keep up enough to make fun of it.
I can't believe people take them seriously.
Oh, it's hysterical. I mean, it's really funny.
Weird, all this stuff too. And here's another
Oh.
thing. How about Obama is Osama? If you compare that could be the same entity there. And
Well,
what
he's
are the two?
Akhenaten,
There's
which
only
is Moses.
they have
Yep,
one.
yep.
Listen, they have one.
Who is Obama?
Yeah,
Obama and
that's what they're
Osama
saying.
have one letter different that spells BS.
So Obama would be Akhenaten,
not-
which no,
Yeah.
Akhenaten is Moses.
Yeah.
Obama and
So-
Osama are basically the same entity. I have on my playlist. You could see the comparison that they do an overlay. They put their faces right next to each other, and you could see it's the same fucking thing.
Most of Hollywood has doppelgangers all through history.
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So there's this guy named David Aaronovic. He posted on Twitter, if I was Biden, I'd hurry up and have Trump murdered on the basis that he is a threat to America's security. Like they're
Yeah.
literally putting the assassination that is coming, and that is part of the script in his face.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in our faces. Or
So
in
they're
their-
going to drone strike them? Is that what it is?
I've seen something that it doesn't look like a drone strike, but I've seen it's like somebody made this video showing him get assassinated, and you can see it in, I think, The Simpsons is the same thing.
Yeah, it's in The Simpsons.
There's like drops of it here and there. But
Yeah.
the reason he's going to get assassinated is
Is he going to
he
get a
is-
head wound? Is it going to be a head wound? Is that?
I think that's it. I think that's it.
How can they turn Apollyon into the beast?
Well, they're not presenting it at. This is the whole idea of sheep in wolf's clothing.
But he's supposed to survive it. He's not going to die, though, is he? There's no getting rid of the fucker.
Well, he's going to be resurrected.
Keeps coming back.
Well, when he gets assassinated, that will start a civil war because everybody's either Biden or Trump. But he's been crowned the Messiah in Israel, I think it is. Like this has been known, and at that point, once he returns, then that's when you see a fake spiritual holy war, which would be World War III, and then the spiritual war. I'm sorry, then the fake.
Not the fake alien invasion.
Yeah, it'll be. Yeah.
Is that going to be the rapture, or what is that? Is that related?
I think that's part of it. Yeah.
Okay.
No, the rapture's actually the final event because when the final event, they're going to open the dome and that's going to create a pressure release and it's going to create a vortex that
And everybody's
spirals
gonna
up,
fly
and
out.
everyone's going to
Yeah.
ride the whirlwind to the top.
See ya.
And they want you all in 5D because they're going to shut this one down, and they want to feed on us in the next level.
So that
Right.
PW, you would really like Martin's stuff. Speaking
Probably.
of-
I like it all.
So
I'm a sucker for a good story.
Oh, absolutely. That's probably what got us in this stinking mess. He talks about the domes, and he he says there is. Get this. This is going to be funny. So there are 88. Just pretend these dots and lines are domes. Okay. There's 88 of these.
Can you hit center for me?
Oh, yeah. 1 second.
Okay. Yep.
Okay. Let me delete
Ooh.
these other. Okay. Can everybody see this?
Yeah, it's kind of light though.
Okay.
Like a
I'll see it.
potato.
So
I could adjust my contrast, I guess. Oh, there it is.
yeah, I'm zooming.
All right, that's better.
So all those little squigglies are domes. Okay. You'll really like this one. And there's 88 of them over here. Okay. This is what Martin is known for. This is why I like his stuff. So basically these domes are all going to depressurize. And this is the 3 days of darkness.
Yeah.
The lights go out.
I agree with that. Yeah, yeah.
And
3 days of darkness. Yeah.
They create a dome that encapsulates each one of these other domes. So you have 88. They call it he calls it Lilith.
So it looks like boobs.
And
Just wait. Yeah. So this is the idea of the back to the duality, falseness of it. Somebody's drawn.
88 double D.
This is why you see the 88 everywhere. And then what happens is they're like this, and they get encapsulated in one large dome.
And she's pregnant. Okay.
Exactly.
We got a bird's eye view.
Yep. And this is all about the false mother.
Oh.
Not true.
Right. The Matrix.
It all ties back. Oh man. But yeah. So he says our exit point is when our dome goes down, those 3 days of darkness. Because that there's no domes. Like one dome gets like these all decompressurize. And while this is going down, this is about to gain enough power to go up.
Yep. Blue and red. Yep.
Yep. Exactly.
Even yeah, like as much as I don't like Jay Dreamer's, some of his stuff about the plasma stuff is really cool.
It is. He does a good job. I just don't know how somebody can come up with that much content that quickly when he's a single father. The whole DC
Yeah. And the amount of subs that he has.
Well, that's just the thing is everything is channeled, isn't it? We
I
are
don't-
legion.
I
We
don't
are
channel
legion.
anything.
That's what MK Ultra is all about. And when you were talking about that suicide in the group of 6, that's the seed of life with an empty hole in the center. The ones, so is that a soul group then? And we're all fragmented into 6 with an extra 7th in the middle for them to access all of them?
Okay, let me just I wish Jared was in here. He had to go. But let me I don't know if you guys watch the Marvel shows, but I'm just gonna or the Marvel TV shows and the movies. So you have a character called Loki. He uses a tesseract to jump out of his space time to another realm. He is caught by men and everything, men and women, and everything is orange. And we know that means 33. And we know that those guys withhold the information that holds the realm. Think, can you guys see this? Okay.
I can.
You know, the whole black sun, all that stuff.
Yep. Seal of Saturn, Black Sun on the bottom. Yep.
So in this space that he goes to, it's called the Time Variance Authority. they control time. And as time goes along, there will be people that jump and create what's he call it? He calls it some kind of event. That basically they're after Loki. He went off the script. And so Loki meets another version or variant of himself called Sophie.
Oh, Sophie. Okay.
Oh,
Male,
interesting.
male woman, mirror. Okay. So they team up and they say, what's going on? We gotta so they go to different places, different times and different timelines, and they try and figure out the truth. Well, they go to a place called the End of Time. And it's like this, there's like a plasma blue and pink and purple and white ring around this island. And there's
Right.
there's a castle. So when they get into this area, what do they
Is there a
meet?
moat?
Um,
Is there a remote around the whole thing? Is there an island? Is there four rivers and 7 on one and 3 on the other?
I don't know because it makes sense because there are pyramids. There's like the Eiffel Towers there. There's the Brooklyn Bridge. There's
Oh yeah.
all these artifacts. Well, they meet. So you got Loki, you got Sophie, and they meet. I want to say it's 7 other variants.
Oh,
Of-
9 of them. Yeah. Okay.
So 9.
Oh, 9 pairs. 9 pairs of Aeon and Aeon and Archon. Eh. Okay.
Exactly. And so one's like a crocodile.
Yep.
is a
So be
fish,
Sobus. So yeah. Yeah. I know who you mean. Yep.
one's a black guy, but there's one that is like very
So bad.
ego. Anyway, so what they do is they go to the End of Time, in this castle. They go in, and the first room they come to, there's this little clock that's AI, that's digital, and she's called Miss Minutes. Okay, and they get in an elevator to go up to see the top guy, the top dog. In the elevator, you got 1, 2, and who do they meet? That's sitting in here. They meet this gets into trippy stuff. They meet a guy who they're white. These 2 are white people. This one's black, and they meet. His name's Kang the Conqueror, but he goes by many names. His main name is what is it? He Who Remains. And what color is he wearing? He's wearing purple.
Uh-huh.
And and guess what he's eating? He's eating an apple. And so he's sitting at a table, and he has the whole hand with the watch. He controls time with this. So that's the whole Egyptian concept. But what you're really seeing is Adam, Eve, Lucifer.
Yep.
And he gives them an option.
Many names. Yep.
Yep, exactly. And he says, here's what's happening. I have defeated all the other versions of me, and I control time, and everything that you've done has been scripted, blah, blah, blah. And this one, Loki's like, I actually agree with him that because the option is you can either let me be. This is what Lucifer's saying. Let me continue to maintain control, or you can take over, and everything changes. So he, being the positive and her the negative, he says this is not a good idea. We don't want to kill him. But Eve, Sophie, is like, no, I'm killing him. Period. So these guys go back and forth and fight each other. She sends him through a portal and then kills Lucifer. And when that happens, the whole multiverse thing that surrounded the castle in the first place, this starts branching off into all kinds of other timelines. And what happens is you meet the character that's Lucifer. You find out there's like 1,000 of him, or like, multiverse infinite of him. And some better, some worse. And then that's where season 2 picks up. And then season 2 picks up where you have the character of Kang, call him Lucifer, who designs a machine to funnel energy into something, and he couldn't get it designed until he had the help of somebody else who looked up to
Sophie,
him.
maybe?
Huh?
Sophie, maybe?
Nope. Guess what his name is?
Oh, him. Okay.
His name's Ouroboros. So this guy, Ouroboros, got a book that was made by Lucifer, and they both basically looked up to each other. They both idolized each other because they were helping each other create their world. You guys really need to watch the show Loki. There's so much freaking truth in it. But anyway,
I don't watch TV.
How
Is that-
much is in shows. Like people say, "Oh, don't watch TV," and it's not. I'm like, nah, man, because I know that they're telling us everything, and I'm gonna watch.
because
So,
they have to. That's a law they have to do. They have to disclose.
Yep.
I don't
Yeah.
have a TV.
That'd be a good number 9 for that little thing for Anne-Marie. Like
We'll see.
disclose to me what you're doing. Disclose to me your true intention, your agenda, etc.
Yep. And people think it's all just entertainment.
It is to the Walking Dead, not to us. We are done. We
Yep.
like even if you look at the levels of superheroes. I mean, oh my god, the Marvel stuff, I can break it down. So like you said that he has many names. Well, in the Marvel movies, that's an extra finger. There's a glove that is made called the Infinity Gauntlet. It's got 6 jewels on it. The guy
Wow.
that gets it is a purple guy called Thanos. What's he want to do? He
Well,
wants
that's
to get
back in Marvel. Is that still in Loki too?
all this is Marvel. He wants to
Yeah,
get
yeah.
rid of 50% of the population. Why?
Yeah.
So he can restart and balance the universe. What's he do it with? A snap. Just like a blink of an eye.
Balancing it though.
It's the same person. Thanos comes to do the whole in-game scenario where he fights against all the different dimensions and characters. And what's he lead with? He has 4 horsemen. 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. It's all the same thing over and over and over again. I mean, you even have AI in Marvel with Ultron.
Yeah, I
we-
don't. I need to watch the Marvel stuff. I don't. I'm not. I watched some of it, but I need to like get on board and watch a lot of it because I'm not up to speed with that. But there is a lot out there to watch. Let me tell you.
Yeah, too much, and that's why it's out there. Like, I mean, I was looking for certain things, and I find out there's like 20 different movies that I never watched of an actor I used to watch in the 80s, and they were never there before. It's just like
Oh, that's
data
happening to
dumped
me too.
everywhere.
That's
Yeah.
happening to me too. I'm like, what? I'm like, wait a minute. How is this even possible? Like, how did I
Yeah.
never see this before? And there's all these movies out with like the same act. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, like Jean-Claude Van Damme was mine.
Yeah, yeah. I watched
Like-
maybe 3 of it, and I didn't want to watch any after that because he got real bad. But Bloodsport was good, and now I'm looking for Van Damme, and there's like 20 of his movies now.
Yeah,
Like,
they're all
where
the
did
same
they come
story.
from?
Yeah, I've never heard of any of them. They're all the same stories. It's guy does this, he gets broken, has to go on a revenge mission. It's the Punisher over and over again. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
I had that happen with Brendan Fraser. Like he's in a ton of movies,
Oh.
but it's the same movie. And like I
Yeah.
never heard of that movie before.
The blast from the past.
Yeah. When did
Talk
that?
about the truth bombs, the savior, the Jesus, the devil, the AI, all of it.
When did did that? I never heard of that movie till like last year.
What? Okay,
That's because
I-
it didn't exist until we could see it.
So weird.
until it was presented to us.
And wait, what movie? Say the name of the movie again?
Blast from the Past.
Oh, yeah. I just
There was the one where he was in the bomb shelter too.
That was
and
it.
then-
That was it.
That's it.
That is
Yeah.
it? Yeah, okay. Well, I saw
Yeah.
that one way back when. So it was presented to me in the proper timeline.
I'm just like when I'm going through these movies and I'm flipping through, it's so hard to find something to watch, and sometimes
And
I'm
now
like,
I don't have enough time.
You guys have Netflix?
yeah.
Okay. There's a show that just came out that's based on Chinese manga, and it's actually really well done. There's the main character is called Monkey D. Luffy, and he's like super positive, and he's got a great charisma about him. The show is actually really good. He wants to become the world's best pirate, like ruler of the seas, of the four seas, and so he has to go to this special place to become to find the One Piece. Okay. Well, guess what the One Piece just happens to be? Because I looked it up the other day.
What?
A black cube. A black
Cool.
cube, so he can communicate. He can communicate to God and ask him to grant his wishes.
Oh my!
Are we serious here? Like, oh.
I was
We're-
watching this channel a couple weeks ago, and I'm like looking at the background of in the guy's like studio, and of course he has like tons of subscribers and all. But like I'll watch different people now because I just want to get information, and doesn't mean that everything resonates. It doesn't mean that I like that, but like you can learn from anyone, right? And I'm looking at his wall, and there's like cubes all over his wall. And I'm like, oh my God, could you be any more like blatant?
Truth in everything.
Oh my goodness.
Something showed up on YouTube for me last night, a thing called Utopia. It was out of the UK or Britain, Channel 4 or something.
Yeah.
The link's in my Telegram. But Utopia is sort of predictive programming on the UK team or whatever. Like, I mean, that is a huge, I don't know. I started watching it and I'm hooked, and it's like, oh, wow. So another thing I have to watch, Utopia.
I want to show you that I think that popped up for me too, DW. I wanted to show you guys something and see what the feedback was. Give me just a second to find it. I hope you guys are getting some from this. This one feels like it's been the best one I've done yet.
I love it. I love it.
So there's
Well, aside from my audio issues, I wanted to plug in my mixer.
I was posting the black cube versus the golden cube. That's why you see like on signs on at least the roads in the US, they have the black and gold lines or colors being used. But you just said something that made me.
You mean on the
I remember. Okay.
On the pavement or what?
Yeah, pavement and caution. Like,
Yeah.
you ever notice on the side rails it says like the caution colors are black and gold,
Right.
which
Right.
ties into the black cube and the golden cube.
And isn't the golden cube that city of God by 144 cubits and all of that?
Yes.
Or yeah, 144,000 and all of that. Yeah. Okay.
So I'm gonna post. Let me post
Okay.
these. I was watching. You guys have seen Tron, right?
I saw the first one.
Okay,
Look at
that's
Over.
I don't think
the one that the guy gets sucked into a computer that he created, and the computer tries to take him over.
It's
They
really
have a
old.
new
It's
one
from
called
the,
Tron.
yeah, about 1980 or so.
Okay.
I'm about to zoom into. Can you guys see what I'm doing? These three pictures.
Can't get back to the
Yeah, now,
Um,
yeah. I see one
Okay.
picture.
okay, yeah, you got a picture, yeah.
part.
Okay.
I don't know. I got half a picture.
Hear me out. I'm going
Okay.
to the first picture. So it's a guy getting sucked into a computer by a laser, right?
To
See
the
it?
Okay.
light cycle arena.
Yeah. Okay. So Carrie and I are watching the history of Kevin Flynn. Kevin Flynn is the creator of The Matrix, the digital world in this movie film franchise from Disney called Tron. And as we're watching it, we turn on closed captions and we're listening and reading at the same time. And then we noticed this person who's reading this did not say these words that just popped up. It was almost as if it just skipped over it completely. And so we re-listened and we couldn't slow it. We put it to try and slow it down. It wouldn't slow down fast enough. It literally came up in like a blink of an eye. So I recorded with my iPad and then slowed it down that way. That's how I got these images. So this is what was skipped over. After being transported to the light cycle, light cycle, whoops, I can't draw. Light cycle, reincarnation cycle, okay? Arena war, Flynn used his knowledge of the program, understanding the Matrix, knowing the Matrix, to force one of the enemy combatants crash into the wall, the Mercury wall, the edge of the construct, to crash into the wall of the arena, opening an escape route. I shit you not.
Wow. I love it. Wow.
This was not spoken. It went from one phrase to another, and this went like boop, like that quick, and we caught it.
Your voice keeps messing up on my end.
Yeah, your
I'm sorry.
voice, your voice is getting like really like weird and
Crackly.
cutting out.
I don't know if it was you or the channel or the fucking, the program or whatever.
That's
Probably the program.
it probably is. They're going to run interference, and
Yeah, well,
they don't want this information getting out. But what it tells me is the light cycle. Okay, somebody got transported here, sure, and the light cycle would be the dark and negative, the infinity. Flynn used his knowledge of the program, meaning he understood the Matrix, understood the rules of the Matrix, and he used the Matrix to get out against itself, to create an escape route. Meaning what I posted in the chat earlier about copyright, null and void, no permission. I don't consent to this. I take back my power and I'm out of here.
Yeah, they definitely don't want that.
You know what I'm saying? No, they don't. They don't. And this is why I'm like, why was I targeted?
And as
so
soon as he
hard?
got to the 0 point where the dynamo was spinning, he got himself out back into reality.
And what did he so if this is Tron, DW, you've seen this movie, obviously. He's got his arms up. What's he holding?
The disc.
His power disc, which gets me right back to my golden.
Your halo.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's going to be a good shield to absorb bad energy that's coming at you, and you can probably use it to attack as well.
how do
I'm
I
trying
get
to
my
get-
thing up there like you have yours on your, just like in here? Like where it just shows up that, and Jared has the letter I on his. How do you get those up?
I am not familiar with what you're referencing.
Your
unfortunately.
golden circle,
Uh-huh.
the golden one is like when you speak and stuff, that's on there. Like, how do I get the picture, like whatever I want to put up, like you have?
I think because I can sign into Zoom or Google or whatever, they'll just keep your profile picture. But this is my profile picture on YouTube, from my YouTube channel. It's just somewhere up in Washington State, and I'm hiding under that tree.
I think you have to be signed into Zoom in some way to have.
Yeah.
Oh, Okay, maybe that's why I can't figure it out.
1044.
Yep. So 144 right here. As I say all that, that's wild.
Oh, I see. Oh, I see. Oh, yes, you're in
What am I
Central Time. Yes, right. Okay. Yeah.
Oh,
You'll hear me.
Well, so
you're in Washington too?
No, I'm up in Canada. My wife used to have passes with an airline company, and we would all get, free or cheap flights, and we went off to Seattle a couple times a year. We'd always, so when Twilight was out, and my daughter, we had to go up to Forks
Oh yeah.
and Olympia Park there, and it was really, really beautiful up there.
Are you in Vancouver?
No, I'm east of that. I'm in Alberta,
Oh, okay. All right.
which
I
is
lived in Canada for 6 years. I lived in Victoria, and I lived.
Oh, I know. Oh, yeah. My grandparents retired to Victoria.
The best place I ever lived was there. It was Salt Spring Island.
Oh, okay.
I loved it there, man. It was so cool. It felt so free when I was there. It's just a tiny little island,
Yeah, I ain't free now. We're in Commieland here. Sorry, we have quite the puppet, quite the puppet dictator.
Yeah, you do.
I had a bed and breakfast where I did my healing work for people and stuff. It was just, I was doing everything I wanted to do. And
you did that in Salt Spring Island?
Yeah.
Holy shit. What year?
This would have been like late 90s into 2000. I left after that. I came back. I had to come back here because I got a divorce from the rape.
What you drawing now?
If you guys
want me to
stop,
now?
if you want me to stop, you tell me.
Nope.
But
non-conformant map.
I think it's called Nos-Confondant map.
Oh.
Back to the whole 88 realms or domes. So, you know
I
how
remember that one.
What makes each one of them a what?
Okay, so let me really quickly search and see if I have a picture of it.
One different reality or something, or
different realm.
Different realms on our flat plane.
Yeah. That's
and the moon reflects it down because the top of the dome is actually covered by an inverted dome. It vaults up, convex to us, and
so
then
it's the
concave to us, and then a convex part comes down, which is a little ball stopper on the top, and that's all ice.
Correct. So in this picture of the Nos-Confondant map, in the very center, right there is
that's us.
We're here actually, but it's Earth. Okay, so let's pretend I came in.
You're too fast.
I'm sorry. I'm so high energy and.
I was trying to focus in on it, and you just took it away, so I couldn't.
So, like, you got the lands of Jupiter over here on the left, Aldebaran above that, lands of custodians, all these things we've heard mythologically, Neptune, Uranus, all those things. So in each one, the time is different, and obviously the space is different.
So each one of the circles is one of the 88 domes.
Correct.
Okay.
So
there's an Atlantis in there too, eh?
Yeah, the Pleiades, Percy, Zeus, all
Mars, yeah.
So at the center of that map, that's the map, at the center is Earth, which is the heart. When you take down any sorry, I gotta plug it. When you take down any beast, you aim for the heart. So when people are like, I came from the Pleiades, or I came from Venus, or wherever they think they came from, given their avatar, maybe they did. Maybe they came into the system, landed in, I don't know, Saturn, woke up to this place is not where I want to be, and then sought like-minded minds, and then found out that they have to get out of here, they have to come to Earth. Earth being the hardest, being the harvest, also being memory of lives. It's all lies, etc., etc., etc. So that makes me think. If I can draw over here, the race to which mountain, journey to the center of the earth.
Yeah, yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Oh,
So people
I
are like-
remember those shows. Wow.
So people are like,
Got to rescue the princess from the castle there too.
okay, perfect. So in the video games Mario is a plumber who goes through pipes, which is what the Boring Company is, going from realm to realm to realm, learning this, taking that knowledge and implementing it here. But it's also when he gets to the castle, what do they always say? Oh, sorry, your princess is not in this castle. Well, that princess that we're looking for is our other part that we're missing, meaning the false Eve, the Adamic race, the Adam race, the various.
Twin flame.
Yep.
Yeah. There you
Yeah,
go.
yeah,
I chased my twin flame into hell.
exactly. Because you were presented a false Eve.
Oh yeah.
Hey, your princess is down there. Go there.
Yep. Oh
So anyway,
man.
I hope that all makes sense. I'm sorry for my chicken scratch, guys. I get excited and I write real fast,
No, I love that's great.
but it just all makes sense when you have that point of view.
Yeah. I really love listening to this.
Carrie does a really good job. She's when we work at the food truck, we listen to 80s music, and it's literally like all the 80s artists came in with a mission to try and tell us the truth by showing us that they came in and gave up their true love, or that they're searching for their true love, or this is their incarnation because they made a bad choice to forget their true wholeness. And
Wow. Yeah.
he breaks it down like crazy.
I love it.
Most
Obviously-
people would have been lost like way long back.
See, okay. So this is why Jared and I get along, and I found Anne Marie and Stephanie and Kat, all of you guys. It's like we've literally talked about like 150 different concepts, and it's still all freaking makes sense to us. We sound crazy, but
I'm sure.
Yep.
We're on the same wavelength.
yep. We're
On
being
the
brought
same
together for a reason.
frequency.
Yeah. So anyway, I'll shut up. I could keep going on all kinds of stuff, but I know you guys probably. I feel like I dominate the conversation. So
No, you're not.
No,
No, you're
this
not.
was all
Oh,
great.
no.
okay, I
Not at
appreciate
all.
that.
The
Us
ladies
is
have had
now.
their time to chat. You have had your time to present, and I've had my time to comment.
There we go. Man, this has probably been my favorite one by far. This has been a really good one because we've covered so much.
Yeah. And
But,
it's cool. Pretty
I
interactive.
love it.
I do too.
Oh,
You know, and I have to say, it's like, it's nice to be talking to people that are pretty much really all in. Because I talked to the guy Rob from Typical Skeptic, and he teeters back and forth. Like
does.
he's like
Well,
halfway
he's
in.
also under offer. He might be already too late. Like, I mean, he's in it for the money.
Well, he does a lot of content, and he
Oh,
does.
yeah,
He
a
has
lot
a
of people do.
He
bunch
does a
of
lot
different
of-
people. But
How
I
do you-
talked to
how do you
him, and
do
I'm like, why are you talking about the Soul Trap in one breath, and then the next thing I know, you're like, talking about, the Galactics again, or something like that.
Yeah, he's just like and I don't mean to gossip. I really don't, but it's what you're saying is so true. Let me give you 2 points. He is like there's a guy that wears a wig and talks with another girl sometimes she just seems like she's just spaced out.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. The guy with the wig. Yeah. Yep.
He looks almost reptilian the more I think about it, and I might be getting some of that from the Sanity Machine or something. But it's true in that these people come aboard and just they just somehow get interviews. Like Rob's, he has like 5 or 6 interviews a day.
I know. It's
And,
insane.
That's where I first saw Michael Martin, 33, whatever.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
came out. It has been holding information for 35 years. Well, when I came into the level of awareness that I am, whatever,
They have roles.
I started talking immediately. I didn't wait 35 years and write books and make people pay for a Patreon. And it's the same thing with Sonya. And you start to see these patterns and you start to observe them. It's like, I'm getting played again, or they're trying to play me again, or they're trying to play somebody against this. And there's another channel too. I say this because I don't want you guys to like sit there and watch this channel for like umpteen hours. But anyway,
Well,
you get the point that it's like another layer. It truly
Yeah.
is.
Oh, Sergeant Schultz deleted my comment request to join this little panel tonight, by the way.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
I commented, and I've just pasted in your Zoom link and said,
Mhm.
Journey Points home, come chat with us, right?
Yep.
And I expected it to be ignored. I didn't expect it to be deleted.
That's interesting because
Who
he's got.
deleted it?
Well,
Well,
he would
well-
have deleted it. Only I or he could delete them.
That's not true.
Well,
Um,
YouTube could delete
Yes,
them.
I bet that's who deleted it because I've spoken to him and another channel called Deleted Truths.
Who are you talking about?
Sergeant Schultz?
Oh, okay. I don't know that person.
You've talked to him?
No, I don't know.
I've talked to him and Deleted Truths, and I'm trying to get both of them to come on, but they're both repo channels, so keep that in mind. But
Yep.
I've talked to right after I commented on Stephanie.
What kind of channels?
Repo, like they take other videos and repurpose them and not saying that's a bad thing. That's just what they do. Like they have Caroli, they have Eber, they have Tina and Karen of QHHT. They have all these different people that they've reposted videos from. And
Right.
What's the other one?
They're using all their content to be.
You
to
said
make up
Deleted
their
Truth.
But they do it respectfully.
That
Like,
he
at least-
does it very respectfully. He does give the
Yeah,
person
yeah. He
credit.
gives the
He's
links
not
and
trying to,
keeps the
you know,
comments open. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. They want people to find the truth, and so they're just doing it from a quiet standpoint without putting their face or voice in there.
Exactly. And he does all like basically soul trap videos mostly, you know.
Oh, absolutely. And
Yeah.
the one he picks
Who
is like
Who is it you're talking about?
Sergeant Schultz.
Sergeant.
and the other channel is called Deleted Truth. They're both
Okay.
phenomenal. They're both phenomenal.
Okay.
Like they got Howdy, they got Tony, they got Anne-Marie, they got all the people that seem to resonate like we do.
Yeah.
They're there. Well, I lost my train of thought now. But anyway,
Well, you said you were going to talk to, or you had talked to them about
Oh.
coming on.
Yeah.
Thanks, DW. There's another channel that's really small. That's called Inner Knowledge 33.
Sylvia,
Yeah. I've
love
talked
the
to
guy.
him.
He's my Gnostic guy.
He's fabulous, man.
Inner Knowledge 33.
Yeah, and I talked to him, and he's going to come on too. There's another channel called Spellbreaker, who has had like Howdy and some of these other people on. He wants to come on as well to one of these panels. So something's happening in the spiritual
Yeah.
realm.
The
So-
only thing I'm missing, and I'm not expecting anything, is Amberly from
Oh.
Transmuting Chaos. I loved her stuff.
Okay,
Holy smoked.
let me go real quick and make sure, because I know I'm subscribed to her on my personal YouTube, not my channel YouTube.
Ah.
So I will make sure. Okay, I am subbed to her. Yeah, I'm familiar. I will reach out to her too. I just got to find the best way to
Talking
do
about now?
The best way is probably Twitter.
it. Okay.
No. Who are you talking about?
Amberly. I think
Trans-
that's her
transmute-
first name. Yeah, Transmuting Chaos.
Yeah.
I don't. She's not on YouTube. I don't
No,
do.
no, she is, but she hasn't posted for a while. She said she was pretty tired and was not going to post and was keeping care of herself because when she woke up, she was totally attacked and was having incredible stuff that she was describing. Incredible stuff.
Yeah, she's much like me, and Rebellious Meat Puppet has talked to her several times, which is another person I would like to get on here too, because he's much more of a very philosophical mind base, and Nonconformist Radio 2 is they're both very similar. They're both very I don't want to exist at this point.
I know that girl.
Transmuting.
Yeah.
Yep. Excellent channels.
Yeah, she's just a beautiful soul.
What were you saying about you went to go comment on my channel and then you never finished? I don't know what.
You talking to me, Kat?
Yeah, it's Stephanie. You were saying something about you were gonna comment on my channel or something, and you were something about Sergeant Schultz, and then I don't know. I think you lost your.
Oh, that's where I got you from, because you commented on one of his videos.
Oh, okay.
I immediately knew. I was like, I know. I don't know if it's the name or the wording that you use. I was like, I know this person. So I then reached out to you immediately and started watching. So I was like, I know a real person when I see one. And, so anyway,
cool.
that was awesome.
That's awesome. Thanks.
Absolutely.
I'm glad.
The thanks is mutual. Hey, Carrie, are you there? Can you hear me karaoke? We where we live in Oklahoma, there's the cell reception. I'm on a hill and she's in the
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Far out. Here I am.
This woman's amazing, you guys. She will literally blow your mind. I've been commenting on stuff that you and I've talked about all night, Carrie. I hope you enjoyed the fireworks.
We did. We've had the power has gone off. I've been here for 30 minutes trying to get logged on here, and it's probably popped on a few times or not. I don't know, but anyway, it's aggravating. So
you've been here the whole time.
30 to 45 minutes, and so yeah.
Wow.
This has been a really good one. So to give you guys a little background on me, I met Carrie through a Telegram group that we're neither no part of, and just something felt right, and I was going through a very trying time as far as like gang stalking and all that stuff. So I moved out here on a whim. Her and I started a business as a food truck, and it's just been, if there's one thing I want to check off my list was to be in close vicinity to somebody who is actually authentic and genuine, and it couldn't have worked out more easily and for
I had something like that.
Nice.
It's been crazy. So very
There's
thankful.
no like-minded people around here where I am.
You said there's no
No one. No, I don't have anyone to talk to here in real life.
I'm lucky. Just yesterday, my neighbor came over for the Canada Day 2 days ago, I guess, and he asked me questions about consciousness, just out of the blue. It's like,
I think we're gonna
it was
a lot
fun.
more of that. I think that will start becoming the norm in the next few months.
What will?
People
I wouldn't say norm. Some will, yeah.
ask questions like that. Yeah.
Sorry,
What-
there's a cat yowling in the background.
You're good. What I've noticed is as Carrie and I started this channel, the Journey Points Home channel, it's almost like the information that we're putting out. You know how there's like the collective subconscious, the collective conscious, and then I feel there's a third level, which is the collective awakened consciousness. As we start to talk about things, be it on the channel or just in private, it's like other people start talking about it, and I can see the through lines coming together, which is why I found Stephanie, which is why I found DW, which is why I found Kat, even though I remember Kat from the Sanity Machine, which is crazy. It's like it's in a weird way we're coming together spiritually in the unseen realms. So it's all an upflow. It's all a good thing.
It's like
I-
resonant.
Mm-hmm. It is a resonance. You just know when you know. You just know. You can't explain it. It's just there.
There's a whole bunch of stuff I just know that I never studied. It's the
Yeah.
100th monkey effect. It's it's the collective unconscious, collective subconscious and like you said, the awakened frequency. Yeah.
It is. It's outside of the high vibrations and low vibrations. It's completely different. I think this is the longest one I've done as an open panel. It's like 3 hours long.
I know, and it went by so
went
fast,
by.
right?
It feels like it's
Time
been
is relative.
Feels like it's been 20 minutes. Goodness. So I guess I must ask, does anybody have questions or concerns or thoughts or things they've noticed that are happening? Or I want to keep us out of fear, like we got to stay out of that. What's going to happen? It doesn't matter what's going to happen. It's their script. It's not ours. So I want to put that out there.
Yeah. On yesterday, was it yesterday?
No fear here.
On Jared's channel, everybody was talking in the chat under his live stream about things that were happening to them, and everybody was experiencing these same weird type of things. So it was interesting. It's like, just like you're saying, how we're connecting that way with thoughts and everything. Like people were connecting so much, that everybody was relating to each other so much. I thought it was kind of interesting and wild that it was happening like that. Like there's
More than that, it's comforting.
It
What do you
is.
think?
Yeah. I have all kind of
It
like
eliminates that
that's-
fear when
that's
you
what
know
I'm
you're not
saying.
in it alone, really.
Yeah,
Right.
that's what I was trying to establish on my channel, to have people have a place to come and share their experiences, so people realize that they're not alone, that these things are happening to people, that it's not, because people start doubting their own sanity, like what, things that are happening that never happened to us before. And I came from an era from so back, like in the 50s. I mean, we were watching Leave It to Beaver and shit. I mean, just it's like an innocent time. And for me,
Well,
to
I could
watch
see those on reruns, but no, I got all the 70s sitcoms, man.
but like,
yeah, me too. I was born in
these-
'67, so
Oh, that's my year. That's your year. That's our
oh
year.
yeah. What month?
April.
Okay, I'm March.
and I graduated in '69. You guys were too.
Wow.
So they want to keep us back to the whole idea of divide and conquer.
Yeah.
Which is
So
a-
back then,
Splitting.
when I was like a teenager, it was all about the sex, drugs, and rock and roll program.
Absolutely. Loved
Man,
it.
and I saw how I fell prey to that. And had
They
to
want
get
us to feel alone. They want to feel like we aren't part of something bigger. Because if you can take two people and divide them and keep them from talking to each other, and then
the
use the
car-
radio and all that stuff to make us feel alone,
compartmentalization is off the charts, huh?
it is. And
Wow.
that's what we got to remember. I'll tell you guys this: when I met the Lord, and I was seeing everything disintegrate around me, everything faded from bright lights to darkness, and it was just me and this other person. I had the feeling of utter terror, utter dread, hopelessness, and it was a weird feeling. It was almost like it was being imposed on me, and that imposing feeling represented, you are alone. It's just you and me, your worst enemy. That's all it is. That's all you are. And that's not the case. That's completely inverted.
So was that your Atman or was that Yeldo?
I think that was Yeldo.
Oh, okay.
I really do. I mean, I really do. I really do, because I was breaking through at such a rapid rate. The
Well,
entity, the
we all
entity
got to meet
even
him sometime.
the entity even asked me, he's like, "How did you figure it out so quick?" I'm like, I just have a knowing, and it didn't know what to say. Dude. I'm telling you, I posted my story. I need to do like my actual like awareness story. I don't even want to call it awakening, but my awareness story. So it helps other people realize they're not just alone in this whole fight too. But it was I don't know. You could call the Lord so many names, right? Like Inky, Enlil, Satan, Saturnalia, Lucifer, Yaldabaoth. There's so many names that it wants to go by, which is a true fragmentation that it is that we are not. And
And they're all just they're all just a crew of the Abraxas Corporation.
it wants us to feel like it feels, and we can't. It's not in us to feel that way. So we push against it, and it doesn't like that. It doesn't like it at all.
And it's
Right.
not like them to feel like us either.
No, they want what we have, and we don't want what they have. And
Exactly.
so they try and
Yeah.
impose.
That's exactly right, Brandon. Yeah, I would really like to like keep this going, and because yeah, I feel like I'm very alone, and I do feel like there's fear around, because I'm like the mother bear and like my kids, and I'm like, how's this gonna go down? What am I gonna do? I want to get out of here, but then I got kids, and I'm like, do I? And so it's a lot of detachment, a lot of detaching from things and people, and
It's pretty lonely
Can I-
without people to share with, like we're like-minded people.
well, I
Like,
have my son, but
Don't
he's got
even
other
that's
stuff
great.
going on.
My daughter is just so I can't hardly. I mean, I can communicate with her and talk to her, but not about anything really meaningful.
Can I?
Yeah.
Can I? I feel like I keep interrupting you, Stephanie.
No,
So,
you're fine. Please.
so just like what's happening to us, our quote unquote, which I don't like to put a name on it, but mother, father is calling us back in the same way. If we do and did and have children, then when we put that call out to them, they will then return if they are true. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so that's why, like, when you look at a chain and you look at two pieces to the chain, it's a figure eight. Like, we are literally breaking all the chains from all the ancestors, all the evil that's gone on, all the stupid past lives that were veiled in mystery and lies. So when we leave, it's back to what Anne Marie said. It's a domino effect. Like, we are going to punch so many holes in this place, it won't be able to sustain itself, but on gas fumes. Like, it's just what we're here to do in that way. Like, that's why
Yeah.
our role is so important. So just don't lose sight of that. That's all I'm saying. I try and not. I go back and forth all day, every day. I'm like, what am I doing? I want this to end. Why am I waking up here? GD this. But it's
Right,
like,
and then I just remember Anna Marie Uber.
uh-huh.
Yeah.
Just as long as you know you don't want to be here, you ain't gonna be here.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. So true. We are that important. We are that fundamental to this place's existence that when we leave, all that belongs to us and is like us comes with us. Period. Stepping into your power.
Yeah. I mean, and my son's totally on board with all of this too, and he was excited that I was going to do this tonight. And
Oh, hey,
It's
he's
gonna be recorded.
my 21-year-old. Yeah, he's got some OCD stuff and all going on. He's trying to, it's just he's very targeted too, because of this.
Yeah,
He's
I
been
have a
targeted.
schizophrenic son as well,
Yeah, it's a
and
lot.
I don't know if he's a true soul or a half soul or what, but he's all on board with what I say. But he's got,
Yeah.
he's got more veils than I do. So
Well, it's heavy targeting, it's those You know, if you've ever
Oh yeah,
listened.
no, he got into the system and now he's there. He's a
Oh,
por- he's a portal. No, he's out. Like he's not, but he's in the system, right?
right. Yeah. My other two, my oldest is a Christian, hardcore, like, and very super intelligent. A lot of the stuff that he told me ahead of time about the new age, he was right about, and a lot of other stuff. And he was into, you know, he knew the Illuminati stuff inside out, or whatever you want
Yep.
to call it.
Yep.
He was,
I was still a pundit for Christianity for a long time before I cut that cord.
yeah. And now he's 39, and he's, you know, that's the one thing he won't let go. And he just got totally bogged down with, um, you know, that end of it, and just, I don't know. He's good in a lot of ways, and I do believe that he um is going to come out of it. I really do. I feel like he's like almost at that door. But
Yeah.
but my daughter's just, yeah, she's just you know, she's totally with the system. Like, really, you know, she didn't get vaccinated, but she,
My daughters did, and she's into the system too, big time.
Yeah, I was gonna tell you, my son's the opposite of yours. He's totally in, got it, got, you know, more than one, likes Marx and thinks that we need to, you know, to go to Democratic. You know what?
oh no.
You know,
Yeah.
that's where he's like the opposite end of where your son is, Stephanie, where he's all Christian. And he's an atheist.
Wow. Well, you know, none of my kids are vaccinated, but if anybody was going to get vaccinated, it would have been my daughter, but I wouldn't allow her, and she wasn't of age, and she didn't know that they changed the laws, and would have allowed her to get it. She just didn't, she doesn't watch the news, so she didn't really know. Um, but yeah, the school indoctrinated her, and she's like, you know, I can't seem to be able to get her back. But you know what Brandon said, I do believe, and so we'll
Call her
see.
home.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you know,
exactly. That's what I was going to say. Put the intention out there for your children to return if their spirit has that in their own spirit's plan. Like, example, there's a reason we didn't wake up to a certain age. There's a reason we didn't learn this and that at that time. It's because our spirit was almost like it's like gaining knowledge, so it can be fortified in its own being. And if they're into church or religion or whatever they're into, it's almost like they have to go through it, even though they're not. We view it as they don't need to, but maybe they do in
right.
order to exit as well. So just kind of help guide. You know, don't impose your spirit's will against theirs. More.
No, I don't. Her dad does that, but I do not. But he's like low level awake, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, totally.
I call it Trump level awake.
I gotcha. Trump level awake.
Trump level awake. That's their
That's
dad.
funny.
That's their dad. My son doesn't even listen to anything he says at all. So, but my daughter and him, they battle, and yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, no kidding.
Wake me.
What's that?
Would you say?
Trump level awake me.
Um,
They're awake to what Trump is not what they think, or
no,
what
no.
do you mean by that?
They're aware that there's a system in place that's trying to harm us, and he is not even, my daughter's not even nowhere near that, but he's awake in that he knows that there's agendas, and but he's a Trump supporter. Does that make sense?
Oh, okay, I get it.
Yeah,
You know,
it's part of the journey.
It
yeah.
is.
And I was too, so I'm not knocking him, but he's
Yeah.
just, I don't know that he's ever going to come past where he is. I'm going to be honest. And he is also vaccinated, by the way.
Just
So,
remember that the vaccinations affect different DNA It's not a blanket. It's because I'll be honest with you guys. I've had 2 of the vaccinations, and
Oh, really?
yeah, I don't feel any different. I feel more clear headed than ever. I think what it does, honestly, one, it's placebo. There's the dead ones. There's the testing ones, but it also amplifies what's already inside of you. So if you're in like a very fear-based mindset or heart-centered space, it will amplify that. But me, I'm speaking for me, it was like, I don't believe in this. I don't have faith in this. I don't know why I'm doing this, other than my wife was a nurse and she wanted me to get it. Like it didn't hit me the same way.
Right.
So
Haven't
keep that
seen
in mind.
any effects in my daughter and my grandson. Not yet, anyway. She's not sick or anything. The
Yeah,
baby
he's not,
seems normal.
he's not either. He's not sick at all. He's had 2 of them, just like Brandon said he had, and then he kind of was like, all right, I don't think I'm gonna
My daughter had 2, and I don't know how many the babies had.
yeah.
I didn't vaccinate my daughter her whole life.
And then
Never
she
gave her
goes and gets,
vaccines. I knew that was not good. And then she does it to herself.
well, I didn't vaccinate my 2 little ones. Once my son was diagnosed with autism, he was like 5 or 6, then I stopped the vaccinations after that.
Those you believe that they caused, right? By the vaccine.
Yeah, and then my oldest, his 2 youngest babies, the 4-year-old and he'll be 4 and she'll be 2. They his kids don't have 1 vaccination. Like they're completely unvaccinated, and they're
So
like,
can you see a difference in them?
I absolutely think they're like, yeah, I do. I really
It
do.
must be hard to watch.
I see a difference, but maybe it's because I'm biased too, but they're just perfect. So,
Right.
I'm not seeing any differences in the people that I know that got it either. But one of my daughters, who didn't get it, she has children and she gets them all their shots, except for that one.
okay.
So they gave her first a bunch of shots until she was like 2, and then one day my daughter came in and said, "I'm so relieved I don't have to get her any more shots till she's 4." So I was wondering, you said if your child which one changed them?
The 21-year-old, the one that I told you is on board with the stuff that we're talking about now.
Mhm.
But he has a lot of stuff, mental stuff going on. Like,
Did it happen when he was 4? Did it happen when he got something when he was 10?
right when he started to it happened when what is that, the MMR shot with all those ones that they give them at like 2 years old or whatever it is.
Okay, so he started at 2 years old.
Yeah, he suddenly like just it was very bizarre. Like I saw the change in him, and then when
That just makes me so angry, that MMR.
yeah,
With my grandson as well.
Because that's why there was no way in hell I was ever going to get this COVID thing because of that MMR thing.
yeah, and then
Well,
really,
I didn't trust them before anyway, but I haven't gotten anything since my parents did it to me. So
the HPV one, the HPV
Yeah.
bad, the human papillomavirus one, that's a
Yeah.
pretty wicked shot.
They pressured me so much with my daughters to get that done. And I said, well, I'll let them decide when they're older if they want to get that done. And they told me, oh, no, you have to get it when you're 10, 11 years old. It's not going to be effective when they're 18, 19. Flash forward, like they're telling my daughters who are in their 30s now that they should still get it. They said every time they go to the doctor, like, do you want your HPV vaccine? You can get it till you're 45 years old.
Just
Wow.
remember, we live in a strip mall, and then there's an advertiser on every corner.
Yeah.
It's so sick, isn't it? Like, it's awful. My son took the dog to the vet $400 later, and the dog had an ear infection, and they're like, oh, she's due for her vaccine, and she's due for this other vaccine. And they said, unfortunately, it's going to cost an extra $200 for that or whatever. Now, my son didn't care about that, but he goes, nah, she's good. She don't need vaccines. He said they were literally freaking, he said they were going into like overload. He said they were like, does not compute, does not compute. They were like walking around going, like talking about him in front of him. Like there was like 4 or 5 of them, like all going, well, why isn't he getting it? I don't know why. I don't know. I mean, the dog needs it. You see, the dog needs it. Literally, he's like,
It probably
just
would have been a totally different response if he said, "Oh, I can't really afford that." They'd probably
Yeah,
give
like-
it to him for free.
he was like cracking up. He's like, what the hell? You people are all insane, you know? But
I didn't even circumcise my boys.
I wish I hadn't. I'm so sorry I did.
That's one thing I'm glad my daughter did with my grandson. He's like 16 months now. And she did not circumcise him. I says, well, I'm glad that you did that much.
So that's a big trauma that's not going to develop now. That's
yeah,
good.
really.
I didn't have my son done either, and I had to like fight with people. It was back in the early 90s. It was like absurd. People were like, what are you doing that for?
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
it was different
Did
by
you
the time.
back anything? Why would you do that?
Well, I had the 2 younger ones in the 2000s, and they actually, well, obviously I had a girl, but with Kyle, they were like, oh, you
Just
don't
the
have.
fact that it's so normalized is crazy.
Yeah, well, my doctor was not like that at all. She was like, you don't need to do this. She's like, it's totally up to you.
That's
And
good.
yeah, and I was just like, I only did it because I was like, well, I don't know, maybe like we should just do it because like, I don't know. I was just, I did it and I was so sorry that I did it. And, unfortunately it's something that, there's things that we do here that we can't take back, right? That we didn't know. We just didn't know at the time. We were just still sleeping.
Yeah, I go back to awareness. Like, I jokingly say, like, the greatest superpower would be awareness. Like, if I know something can do this to me, then
That's no joke.
I can
Yeah.
I can step in front of it and say, I'm not going to allow that. I don't have, I'm not giving permission or consent. And I think that's been my secret power, if you will. I got the vaccinations and I'm like, I don't believe in this. I'm just doing it to appease you. F this. And I don't feel any effect. I've never had broken bones. I've never had measles, mumps, chicken pox, nothing, like nothing.
Right.
And it's just because I didn't believe it was going to affect me. And so therefore, I guess it didn't. And that's an intention thing. That's an awareness thing. And so if like the mass population is asleep or they're whatever you want to call them, zombies, I don't know.
What
If
made
they
you
don't-
do it though, Brandon?
I wanted to appease my wife.
Oh, okay.
That's the bottom line. I wanted to make my wife, who is a children's hospital nurse, who calls me today and yesterday asking how to give medicine to a 9-year-old daughter because she has strep throat. She's like, I can't get her to take it. I need your help. I'm like, okay. I'm like, you really think she has strep? She's like, it's going to lead to her heart. I'm like, you really think that's true? And she's like, yeah, it's true. I'm like, really? You really think that? Or are you just placebo affecting that into her? Like, what are you doing? And so when my daughter and I talked literally at like 7:55, right before the chat started, I said to my daughter, I was like, sweetheart, I know you can't be with me now, but trust that I'm still with you. And I said, I want you to repeat after me. This medicine sucks. It's going to taste terrible and disgusting, but you are not going to let it overpower the power that you are. You will rebuke everything that it is intending to do and only take what is beneficial for your body. And that's the only thing I knew to do.
Wow.
I don't know if that was right or wrong, but I had to repeat
No, I
it.
love that.
No, it works. It works. I can tell you a long story about my back.
Yeah.
Because back in 2019, I hit the C7, which is like high, almost neck, right? and got the radial nerve. So my right arm, I'm left-handed, luckily. My right arm went totally dead, and I had to heal that myself because it was 2019. And by 2020, I'd gotten in to see a neurologist, but he wanted to make me wear a mask in his waiting room.
Oh.
and and he and he would not see me until I put that mask on. And so I said, okay, I will do this, but you will note in your little notes that this was under duress.
Good for
and,
you.
and well, more than that, that you have just proven to me that you know nothing about medicine.
Double good
And you're
for you.
you're my neurologist, so you can give me your reading, your assessment, but how much faith am I going to have in that now? And
There
he
you
got
go.
all and so and I got a phone call from a neurologist, not a neurosurgeon, 6 months later during COVID still. So I couldn't go see him. So he talked to me on the phone and said, I saw your MRI. Well, that was a nightmare. That's the last time I've been in a hospital. And he said, well, we want to go in through the throat and we want to take, and so I said, thank you, bye. And I was stuck. I had to heal myself.
Good.
And I did. My arms are like 99%, a little weak, but I got the gist of it, and I killed the pain and all of that, and no drugs. Well, the first week, I told my doctor, give me 2 weeks worth of Percocet, and do not renew it, and I will never see you again.
Did he do it?
Yep.
Oh.
No, no, and I
Call
was
the
doing that. I
shots.
was doing that for months before. I was telling him, I need this. Can you do it?
That's what I did to my doctor too, but I don't want to go to doctors anymore.
Exactly.
Or a
Exactly.
hospital. Or a
Not
hospital. I'll
Yeah.
die on my own terms rather than let you guys murder me.
I
So
think
yeah,
what
we
Dr.
have the power to heal. The body will heal itself, and we have the intention to do it. And I healed all that, and I eat garbage, and I can control my weight, and I can control everything just by knowing that my body takes care of itself with a good night's sleep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I was 320 pounds, and I kept telling myself my body,
Whoa.
and well, I'm 6'3", and I showed it
Oh,
very,
okay.
but it was just like a little belly. But I dropped from 320 to 190 within 12 months. I felt like I had more energy than ever. I was able to understand and see things in a completely different way. This was during like my awakening, I guess. I still hate that word. Anyway,
Yeah. It's
I've
their
gained a
word.
little.
Tell
I've
me
gained a,
about it.
I've gained a little bit of it back, because as soon as I got to a certain level of awareness, it was almost like my world came crashing down. It's like they knew exactly what to do, which was take my kids and my wife away. Because my wife had the booster, and the day after the booster, she had a stroke, and then
Oh.
completely changed who she was. Like, after that, my son, my youngest, who is 7, and he's not up to speed as far as like the speech, and he had to have glasses to correct like a lazy eye, those kind of things. We went to the dentist, and they wanted to go into his mouth, and it didn't feel right. And my wife's sitting in the corner, and there's 3 dentist people in there, and he's not going to sit still. Like he's not, and he's got a little anger to him. Like he will fight back. And they were like, we don't know what to do. And I'm saying, well, I don't think you should do anything then. And they said, well, we can do this, a shot, and make him medically compliant so that we can do the work we need to do. And I said, excuse me, make him medically compliant with something that I don't know what it is that you're going to put into his body.
It's probably
And
ketamine.
I was like, I don't agree. No, this ain't going to happen. I looked over to my wife at the time, and she says, don't be a pussy. I'm like, what the hell are you? And so I left, and we left. And that's why I'm still in divorce court. But it's just interesting. It's interesting. Um, I forget who it was. I want to say it was Stephanie that had lost somebody. I forget, but it's almost as if these people that we do love truly and we are losing, they've left and they're sitting in purgatory. And whatever came in is not them. And I do think that that is important to note because my wife cared about me so much. Like on the same page, Batman and Robin, like, let's do this. And then it changed. So me, I'm like, where's my wife's, like, where's that spirit at? Because now it's not existent. And
Out at the island having the race, wasn't it?
I guess for real. When I hit a certain point of awareness, within a month, my best friend got diagnosed with cirrhosis. He completely changed. That's the one that tried to kill me twice. My wife got a stroke. My mother-in-law had diverticulitis. My dad had emergency open heart surgery. My stepmom had emergency knee surgery. And my son, my oldest, at 16, passed out at school. And all of them just kind of changed. They all started saying, "What's going on with you? Are you okay? You're acting a little weird." I'm like, all I'm doing is studying how to help you, going to the computer. How do you cure cirrhosis? How do you cure cancer? And I'm trying to figure all this stuff out. And they're like, "You're acting really strange." I'm like, "No, I'm acting like normal, but something's changed in them." And I do think that they're sitting in a place of isolation. We just don't realize that. And that's why.
You know how MK Ultra works.
I do.
Yep.
Because I was being gaslighted by my ex-wife when I would say things like certain words.
Oh, no. I mean the gist of it. The entire basis of this construct is an ass rape. But
I do.
But it can also be done chemically now, right? And so the vaccines can make them a portal to be part of a hive mind legion soul group, right?
Correct.
And they sit below while the other alters take over the personality and become front, right?
Exactly. Yes. Totally.
Yeah.
It's almost as like I was saying, there will be times when I'm trying to question my wife. I'm like, "Hey, are you noticing this? Are you seeing this? Does this make sense?" And she would throw out words after 10 years of marriage, 11 years, 12 years in a relationship. She would throw out concepts and words. I'm like, "You've never mentioned that before to me." Like the word gaslighting, or "Are you cheating? Why are you narcissistic?" I'm like, "What are you talking about? I cook, I clean, I read, I bathe, all for you guys. I chauffeur. I'm at every event. Like, what are you talking about?" And it's almost as if they left and something else came in. But anyway, to your point, I do agree.
Yeah.
It's very weird.
Me
Very
too.
bad.
I've
Yeah,
noticed
I have
changes
to grieve too. Yeah.
my daughter too. She's like lost compassion, and I think a lot of people have. That's the thing I notice anyway. People
It's
are
either-
selfish and non-compassionate.
It makes you wonder if they were ever real.
They're kind of fake kind. They're
Mhm.
not truly kind. They're just on the surface kind of kind to make them look good. I'm just talking about people in general, the masses.
Yeah, my parents were the most open, loving, beautiful people. Like, I mean, it's amazing that I even found the truth because I was so loved. Because I was so loved and whatnot. Well, no, I was a rebel, so I was a dick. I was anti this because it was wrong, but I still knew right from wrong and whatever, and I appreciated them because I was smart enough to do that at least. But now they're still kind, but they're terrified. They're terrified of everything. And they always had much more strength before with their kindness. Now they're just kind and they're terrified.
Yeah, I almost don't know what to call that. It's almost like a quiet sleep.
We're in a fear-induced world. How could they not be? They're not awake to, or, aware of what's going on, of course they're going to be scared because they're believing,
Yeah.
because of their cognitive dissonance, they can't accept
Yeah.
that the government and all the whatever, these evil forces are. They can't accept that because it's too overwhelming for them.
Yeah, and then you have the backfire effect. It's almost like I take care of a lot of animals at the zoo, and there's this one raccoon that keeps getting out of the cage that has four raccoons in it, and I'll go up to it, and it's almost like it's been beaten,
Oh.
kind of like a Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah,
It's like they love their captors. It's sad. It's
exactly.
terribly
Yeah.
sad.
Well, you can see how that psychology is playing out.
Yeah.
Oh
you
yeah,
can.
well, when
So
when you
that's one of
first wake up, you find out about the Skinner box, and you find out about operant conditioning. You find out all about how you have been brainwashed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you just become more and more aware of the mind control. And
Yeah. Well, you have to deprogram yourself.
yeah.
Hey guys, I'm going to. It's almost a
Yeah.
quarter till midnight. I should probably get off here and try and get some sleep. Carrie and I got to run the trailer tomorrow.
Oh,
Let me get some feedback real quick on what we should call this one. It's still recording, so this has been almost 4 hours. This has been a good one.
Yeah, it was great. It's 12:42 here for me. I'm like, oh boy.
I'm glad you got on, Kat. I am.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I'm glad I could. It was just, so what was the problem? So in case it happens again, because I kept using the code that was listed under the one you said that was for today.
just
That
go
you
to your.
posted 2 days ago, and I could not find any other
Yeah,
link.
no, I had the same problem. What you got to do is you just got to go close all and start again.
Yeah.
I
Make
did
sure
that. I
everything
did
is.
that multiple
Don't
times,
just
though.
hit the square. You got to hit close all, and you've got to make sure that the application is not running anywhere. Because if there's an instance of it anywhere, that's the one you can't get into.
Of the Zoom, or which one?
Everything. Just shut
all of them.
everything. Because because everyone's fighting to be first. You got Zoom, you got your default browser,
No, I was doing this almost a half an hour later, still trying. Then I finally got the text from Brandon giving me the code, which was different from the code that's posted under your community tab where I found the code. Get in. It's the wrong code. So you might have had more people here if the code would have been right.
The 2-day-old code didn't work. The one you just sent me in Telegram there, Brandon. Yeah, that was the one that did work. Yeah.
And the one you posted under the one I left you, the comment, the one you left me there was the correct one. But I wasn't sure if you would get. I wasn't even sure if you would get my thing. I said, "Well, I'm typing it in anyway, and hopefully, and you got it." So
I'll keep trying to send out the invite through any way I can think of.
When you posted the last one before that saying,
what's going to happen is Brandon's going to send us an email with all of our channel names on it, and so we can all make sure we're all sub to each other properly, and then we'll know where we can quickly message each other or whatever.
Yeah.
Some kind of system like that. So we.
Yeah, I'm a Telegram person,
I can't get in,
but I have a YouTube channel.
How can I get, if I can't get in, how is somebody that doesn't know anything about the first time they're there and they don't know? Because I've been telling
you invite them then, because you've got an option to.
Well, I have been.
Yeah, I think it's just one of those things. They're running interference is what they're doing.
Oh yeah.
We just have to speak that no interference is allowed in this chat, this grouping, and push that away, rebuke it, and be that I post a video 2 days before, and I post a link the same day, and I post through email, and I post through Telegram. It's just gonna, at the moment, it's gonna require a lot more of that. So
why didn't the one you posted under the?
Don't know. Just didn't work.
Interference, simply interference. So just rebuke it. Visualize a portal around yourself that no interference can come in, a purification field, etc. I'm thinking
I'm
this
just
one.
trying to think ahead, so if it happens again, I kind of know what to do, because it took me like almost a half an hour. It's like over 25 minutes to get
Right.
to the thing once I knew you were live.
I think this one should be titled "The Truth Will Prevail." Just given that we covered so much. Like,
Yeah.
Love that.
all right, guys, this has been great. I appreciate every single one of you, ones who have left, ones who have jumped in and out, whatever. Truly thankful. And this is the true non-hijacking thankfulness that is gratitude. So I appreciate you all guys being here.
Okay, you too. Thanks.
Absolutely. Take care.
Talk to
Take
me,
care. We will
everyone.
talk to you soon.
Okay,
All
good
right,
evening,
guys.
everybody.
Bye.
Be well. Be well. See ya.
Good night.